in the world.
What's up, friends? Did I hit the right button? Oh God! My name is Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. You can call me whatever you'd like. Welcome to Whoop Wednesday. We're gonna be spending a little time with the most requested of the tiny whoops lately. Not lately, for the last year, which is the BetaFPV Meteor65 Pro. This has a propeller that's in between the 1.2 inch and the 1.6 inch props of your standard 65mm and 75mm motor-to-motor tiny whoops. They did that by using a really skinny AIO, and then it's still 65mm motor-to-motor, but the props that it uses are 1.4 inch, so they're somewhere in between, which is kind of interesting. So we're gonna motor swap this. The BetaFPV motors that it comes with are way too low of a KV, so we're gonna motor swap this and hopefully put it up in the air tonight and see how it is. I have a feeling, I don't know, it's, we'll see. And we're also going to be building another Mobula 6 ELRS. I got a backup ELRS Mobula 6 board here that, yeah, I was going to just kind of keep it as a spare, but might as well throw it together. I have an extra camera for it and an extra canopy and plenty of extra motors. So I think what we'll do is we'll put it onto Happy Model 0802 25,000 kV motors, our previous, like, you know, hot motor. And we'll put it on Gemfan triblades, and we can compare it to the 0702 build with the Gemfan biblades. And yeah, we'll have two pretty much identical builds. One on 0802s with what I think is the appropriate KV for the Gemfan triblades versus 0702 30,000s on the biblades. I have another set of these 0702 30,000s coming because I'm just so blown away by them. The motors are very light, and the KV produces enough thrust with these biblades where, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's the way to go. I can't believe what a difference that little bit of weight makes, but good lord, it does make a difference. These 30,000 kV motors are only available from tinywhoop.com. I've got the 0802 30,000s on this newbie drone rig, which is a little bit heavier. The Cockroach frame is a little heavier. It's got an external ELRS module, receiver rather, which is a little bit heavier. So yeah, the 0802 30,000s seem to be a really good fit on this little newbie drone rig. But these Mobula 6 ELRS rigs are considerably lighter. They work really well in this Meteor65 frame, and they hold the. You can put the Runcam Nano3, I want to say it is, in here, and it's just an incredible combo. I am gonna start farting around with different cameras in this newbie drone build. I don't know what this camera is that I have in it now, but it's nowhere near as good as the Runcam Nano3. I've got this camera here, which Kebab used to absolutely love this for the toothpicks. This is the OV231. Any hardcore toothpick folks apparently will know this. It's a little wide though. I don't know how it's gonna fit in this little canopy, but we'll give it a shot. And then I also have a separate canopy here with the FPV Cycle edition of the Caddx Ant, which I think this is the one. I think this is going to be the camera that lives on this guy. But yeah, a couple different choices here to sort of play around with to try to get this slightly heavier rig as dialed in as possible. And yeah, I also haven't really settled on the propellers. Last week on Freestyle Friday at Maggie's place, I put the Gemfan biblades on these 0802, the full weight, the durable 0802 30,000s, and they felt really, really good. And then I moved to these HQ triblades, and it kind of felt the same-ish. But so the biblades will get, I don't know, more abuse and or testing needed for that rig. I do have batteries on the charger, but this little charger's been acting kind of funny. So let me take a really quick look here at one of them just to see if they're actually charging. 424, so it's not charging them all the way up, but almost all the way up. So I don't know. I've got the big old double cube gate thing set up again, which I was having a blast with the other night. I think you guys are going to lose your minds when you see how cool this tinywhoop.com gate thing is. But yeah, should be cool. Hold on, let me throw these 2 batteries on the actual charger. I'm actually putting 4 of them on here, and I want to make sure that I have enough batteries to test these rigs tonight, because I think there's going to be a little bit of setup involved in the BetaFPV rig. So yeah, I just want to make sure I have enough batteries to give that a rip, and the new rig that we build, and then the other 2 rigs that we're going to be building. And there we go. All right, so the fractal board is going on the big boy charger. In the chat, Dan636 was first, Bob Noxious was next, Airwave Ant, Dead Chicken FPV, Bob Noxious is here, Northern Tier, Tony Morgan, Razzie B, Brandon Woodford, Kevin Sumner, Fam G, Cole Powers, Xenakis is here. What's up? Xenakis is from FPV Exchange. If you're not using FPV Exchange, you're just wasting your life. Get your ass over there, and it's the best website to either buy or exchange, buy from people, exchange your stuff. It's just great. Get over to FPV Exchange, click all the buttons. You're gonna love it. It's a great site made by a really great human being. Guillermo is in the house. Mustang Pilot's here. Gemfan Hobby in the house as well. Mike is on his way. Doom Rider is picked Mike up to bring him down to Orlando, and then Mike is going to see his family, which is going to be awesome. So I had a blast with him here, and it was sad to see him go, but you know, got to get back to normal at some point, I guess. Ernesto is in the house as well. Tom's lazy. Ricardo, Left Step, Kiz Bartlett. I think I got everybody. What's up, friends? If you want to talk directly to me, all you gotta do is type CiottiFPV. It'll light up an orange like this, and I'll know that you're talking to me. CiottiFPV.com has a million ways that you can support me. This is my full-time job. Yeah. You guys are the best. Razzie, I'm exhausted. I'm officially the first zombie participating in FPV. Apparently, I just don't sleep anymore. I just eat brains all day and all night. This is my life now. I couldn't get to sleep until 8 a.m. today. And then I woke up for my 2 o'clock call with Joshua and the boys, and they canceled that call, so I just laid right back down. And I actually did get some sleep, but it's just bad. It's just bad. My sleep schedule is just in a whole other world of doom and awful. This camera has been sagging downwards a little bit, and I'm trying to ignore it, but if I move the keyboard back, I won't be off the top of the screen. Razzie B says, "What's up, collective? CiottiFPV, hope you're doing great." Brandon Woodford says, "Hey man, hope you're having a good night. I'm having a better night now that I'm hanging with my buddies." Kevin Sumner says, "What's up, collective?" And CiottiFPV. Fam G says, "What's up, collective?" Kevin Sumner says, "How did you find your intro music?" How the hell did I find it? Man, I found it a long time ago. It was a guy on Instagram. I don't know how I found him. I don't remember how I found him, but I found a guy on Instagram who makes beats, and I messaged him. I was like, "Hey man, I'm looking for an intro song for my live stream, and I like your stuff." And he was like, "Cool, I don't really do that anymore, but I'll shoot you an email with a bunch of stuff, and if you want to use any of it, cool." And he did. He sent me an email with like 20 or 30 different little beats like that. And that one was in there, and I was like, for whatever reason, I was like, yep, that's the one. And I got back to him. I said, "Hey, you know, I do like 4 or 5 live streams a week. You cool with me using it on all of them? I'm going to use it on everything." He's like, "Yeah, man, that's awesome." He was all excited about it. So, yeah, he didn't charge me anything. He was just happy to see his stuff get used, which I love that, and I resemble that. You know, like, you're like someone, it's very flattering for someone else to want to use your art, and it's nice to, so back when I was doing photography and I was working project management jobs, I loved giving my photography away. I loved to give it like basically as a gift to people that were interested in it. And it wasn't about the money back then, and that was cool. I loved that. Kind of, I don't know. Kind of wish I'd ask for something for it. Every once in a while I'll get paid in beer or whatever. But yeah, like when you make something and then someone else wants to use it, that's super flattering, you know? And if you're not hard up financially, that's a cool gift to give to someone, you know what I mean? So never forget that. I know I always kind of preach like don't fly for free. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily preach that, but I don't think you should fly for free. But if you choose to, then, you know, good on you, because you're giving something away that has definite value. So yeah, feel good about that. Don't ever feel like, you know, they're doing you a favor or anything like that. Like you're doing them a favor for sure, and that's, yeah, that should feel good to you. If it doesn't, you know, work on it, I guess. Do whatever you want. FamG says, what's up, gangly man? Bob Knox just dropping the CiottiFPV.com link. Thank you, dude. Zanika says, Bob beat me to it. Hit thumbs up and show CiottiFPV some love. Thank you, fellas. Gemfan Hobby with a link that doesn't exist. What's up, Mike? Hopefully the drive is going well. I assume that you guys aren't there yet. Left Step says, I've got 0802 19,500 kV with Gemfan quad blades. I wanted it to be quieter. Am I a fool? You're definitely not a fool, Left Step. So you went to quad blades to quiet it down, but inadvertently maybe, or maybe you also had this thought, 19,500 kV is not quite enough kV for these Cinewhoop motors. So going to a quad blade prop helps with that, right? You're not turning enough RPM, so with more pitch or more blades, in your case you've got them both. The Gemfan quad blades are the most pitchy and they have the most blades. You're kind of putting a band-aid on that. The only problem is a quad blade propeller is much heavier than a tri or a biblade. And the 0802 motor size doesn't seem to be quite big enough to handle that heavy of a propeller. So and also a quad blade propeller is heavier. So you've got the heaviest possible kind of motor and prop setup, and the stator volume of the motor isn't quite enough to be able to handle the weight and dragginess of that propeller. Like an 0803 or like an 0902 would be better for the Gemfan quad blades. I tried the Gemfan quads for a long time, and they're okay. They're okay, but you sacrifice a little bit of runtime. The only benefit is noise. They don't give you more thrust because you're slightly overpropped. And so yeah, that's kind of where that sits. Not a bad propeller, but a higher kV motor with a tri-blade, like a 25,000 kV motor with a tri-blade, is going to give you better performance, and not much more noise, I don't think. And then from what I've been testing lately, it seems like the ultimate in performance is 30,000 kV with biblades. And shrinking down to the lightweight biblade also allows you to go from an 0802 down to an 0702, which, I don't know, man. I think this might be it. I think this is it. I think a Mobula 6 ELRS with the 0702 30,000 kV Cinewhoop motors, I am just, my brain has just melted from the performance of this rig. I can't wait to have a second identical one so I can really start pounding on these guys, especially in the new house. Yo, we might be able to get into the new house this Friday. The people that are in there, if you don't know, Maggie bought a house, and her and I are moving in together. her lease is up at the end of this month. My lease is up at the end of next month. But yeah, starting like tomorrow or Friday, I don't know, she's a little sick right now, so I want to go see her and hang out with the kids, but I also don't want to get sick again. I feel like I've gotten sick a bunch this year. But yeah, starting with this next trip to go see her and the kids, I'm going to be loading shit, and I'm going to be filling up my car, because I should be able to start shuffling stuff into the house either this Friday or, worst case, this coming Monday. This coming Monday is like the day that they need to be out. So yeah, there's going to be some tiny whooping going on and some Cinewhooping going on at our new house as early as this Friday, worst case by Monday, Tuesday of next week. One of the little things I want to do is Cinewhoop the house top to bottom while it's completely empty, and then once we're all the way moved in, I can Cinewhoop it again, try to do the exact same line, and then just cut back and forth in like a really cool, I don't know, it just seems like a really fun thing to kind of do. And then Christ, like over the years, it would be cool to continue doing that. It would be cool to like do that once a year as we change the house, as we improve the house, as we, you know, spend a ton of time in the backyard to turn that into our little oasis. Could be a really neat project, you know, to just run the same line over and over and over again, and just like put in the bottom corner of the screen like the year, you know, like 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. And then, but the big thing that I want to do is get a tiny whoop in there right now and just freestyle this shit out of this house, because I need to know what those huge ceilings are like in the living room through a tiny whoop, and there's a laundry chute. So I'm really curious if I can dive the laundry chute. I don't think I'll be able to, because it's like this big. And like these tiny whoop gates, which are like this big, like they're hard to get through. They're even harder to dive. So I don't know. I think if I ever do get the laundry... The other thing is the laundry chute is opened upstairs in front of the kids' rooms in this direction, but then it's open on the main floor in this direction. So it's going to have to be a split S into it, blip the throttle to stop momentum, and then on the way down a 90-degree rotation to get out. And then when you get out of it, you're going right for the wall. So it's gonna I guess that rotation will just need to continue. So it'll be, yeah, so it'll be like a 180, but in the middle of the 180 on the way down, I'm gonna have to blip the throttle to get out of that room, and then blip the throttle again to not smash into that wall. So I don't really think that laundry chute dive is gonna happen, but you know, much like the huge oh shit, my teeth? I think I do. Much like the impossible power loop at Maggie's current place, you know, it's nice to have an impossible trick to break lots of shit attempting. Now I'm all paranoid. Hold on. Okay, Zanakis dropping the link to CiottiFPV.com. Thank you, brother. Arazi B says, I'd volunteer my brain to that cause, but, yeah. Ooh, shiny. YouTube just did the thing. Trying to find my place again. Where is it? Tom's Lazy says, win-win. Almac says, what's up, Ciotti? Got that Source 1 V5 flying nice. To answer your question from the other night, they are 6mm, but they're really slim. It's my new daily driver. Very cool, Almac. Let us know how it crashes. Hopefully the arms break before the motors. That's always my preference for the way that a frame crashes. Because motors are expensive and a pain in the ass to replace. Arms are cheap and easy to replace. Danzo the Terrible says, hey there, collective, sorry I'm late. GrizzFPV says, what's up? Airwave Vant with $1 super chat. Thank you, Airwave. No question, just supporting the madness. Thank you, brother. Very cool of you. Ciotti, Gemfan Hobby says. FamG says, I'm liking quad blades on my 5-inch. Anyone else fly 4-blade 5-inch? A lot of the Florida guys actually fly quad blades. Edwin Erod, he has been flying 4 blades for a while, and a lot of the Florida guys have kind of come on board. They're better for, you know, they're more grippy, they're gonna slide less, so if you're doing like really technical stuff, like in really small spaces, they're gonna be really nice, you know, like bashing jungle gyms and shit like that. Or just small spots, small tight spots. Quad blades are actually going to work better. You're going to lose efficiency, but you know, on 6S we get like 4 or 5 minutes up, and that's a lot. Anything more than 3 minutes and I'm happy. So those batteries are done. That's awesome. Ernesto says, tell me about it. Got COVID on March of this year, me and my fam, and now again my daughter has COVID again, and maybe me too. Oof, that sucks, Ernesto. Airwave Ant says, is that lady your girlfriend? What lady? Maggie? Yes. Maggie and I have been dating for almost a year. We're coming up on a year. And it's just, I didn't know it could be like this. Yeah, it's amazing. Batteries are done. I just, yeah, I didn't know you could have like this much in common with a person. Kind of like top to bottom, and yeah. I wish I'd found her sooner. That's the only complaint that I have, because it's yeah, we understand each other in a way that I just didn't know was possible, and it's really nice. It's just incredible. Monitor Skin with a $5 super chat. He says, good luck with the move. I'm losing my place myself in a couple months, so it's going to be a wild ride. I read that, Metal. Sorry, that sucks, but you'll turn up somewhere better, and you'll come out alive. I promise. Hey, Metal, you have a bunch of toothpicks built. What's a good... I was asking in the Discord, the Toothpick Discord channel, I'm looking for the best motor for a 3-inch lightweight toothpick that'll also work on a Vista toothpick on 2S. I feel like 1S is not quite enough to pick up the Vista and the Vista camera, so I think 2S is the lightest weight. And then I also need to figure out batteries. I'm working on a toothpick page for Joshua's ultimate shopping list. So I think I have the 1S stuff kind of locked down. Quad 66 actually helped me out a little bit. But I just want to figure out the 3-inch 2S Vistapick setup. So yeah, it'll be cool. Kevin Sumner says, you've probably thought of this, but put some yoga mat or something on the bottom of the chute. No need to destroy a quad on a failed dive attempt. That's a good call. I assume there'll usually be laundry in there from the kids. So it should be good. And it's actually not that much of a dive. I have a feeling where I'm going to be breaking tiny whoops in this house is that huge living room ceiling situation, but also because it's hardwood down below that. But we'll see. We'll see how hard the house is on tiny whoops. I'm kind of interested to see. Odd says, hey man, long time since the last live I've been with y'all. Looks like you're doing great. Instagram, professionally, privately. Maggie, totally deserve it. Great human being. Keep it up. Thanks, Odd. That's super cool of you to say. Hang out. I haven't seen your name in chat very much. I don't know if you've just been kind of like watching behind the scenes, but yeah, great people in the chat. Participate if you're into that kind of thing. If you don't tag me, you're talking to everybody in chat, and there's usually like a whole separate set of conversations going on, and I absolutely love that. And then if you want to hang out with these guys some more, my Discord channel is the spot. It's a really interesting group of folks that have become sort of like diehard fans. They're really good builders, really good pilots, really good tuners, just a bunch of really smart nerds, I guess. Oh, speaking of nerds, here. Hold on. Speaking of nerds, just in case anybody doesn't follow me on Instagram, I gotta make sure that you see this. So there was that was just silly. That's just for funsies. But the Razorback is done. And now check it out. Ready? Oh no, hold on. Okay, it's the next one, I think. Yep. There it is, friends. The Razorback lives. I moved the receiver to the top of the ESC so that I could put a little blue LED light above the Vista to light up the blue TPU in the back, and it looks pretty cool. I prefer having the LED behind the Vista, to which really lights up the rear TPU. But this looks pretty. That's the setup that I have on the Rossi. But this is a good sort of interim setup, and yeah, it still lights the rear end of it up a little bit. And then I've got the rear. So these are addressable. These are Lumineer addressable race wire. Not addressable. They have three. They have red, green, blue jumper pads on them. So the fronts, I have red, green, and blue jumped, which creates white. In the rears, I just have the blue jumped. I don't know if I'm going to leave it like that, but yeah, here's what it looks like with that setup. Although this is not at like the front is going to look a little bit pink because it's not at with the individual chip LEDs with red, green, and blue in them. It kind of looks pink until you put some power into it. So ignore the front, but the rear looks kind of cool with the blue, I think, to sort of like emulate the motor. So you really can't see it. It's really hard to see, but yeah, I don't know. Luckily, it's very easy to change those. I can just put a soldering iron right on them. So I'll probably play around, see what the white looks like in the air, and then yeah, see what's what. So this is the high-speed rig. This is the rig that I built to chase 100-mile-an-hour dirt track cars. And so yeah, I've got these Gemfan 5149s on here, which are a good kind of middle-of-the-road, high-pitch, fast propeller. There's also the Gemfan 5152s. Those are like the no-holds-barred, super high-speed champions. But they're an awful lot of propeller. They're a very draggy propeller. These are the FPV Cycle 25mm motors, and even these motors have a hard time keeping up with those 5152 propellers. These 5149s, from a freestyle standpoint, fly much better on these 25mm motors. I've also had so these are 2506s on the Cineglide. I've got 2507s, and I actually played around with Gemfan Hurricane 5147s on that rig, and they were really good. So yeah, I don't know. I really like the Gemfan 5152s, but good lord, they are a lot of propeller. They might need an even bigger motor than this. So I don't know if those props will go back on. They'll definitely go back on here for some more testing, but I might be moving to slightly lower pitch props just for like slightly better freestyle performance. This is not a rig that that really gets used all that much. You know, that dirt track racing gig actually fell through. It got rained out, and then it didn't get rescheduled. So I'm actually thinking I'm going to start just freestyle flying this, and in like really big spaces, because it's got the 40-degree camera angle, 40-degree up tilt. So this thing will just cruise along at like 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. And at a big spot, like a big wide open tree spot, that's kind of fun. and it's got the 6mm arms, so it's kind of a fat bastard. So it's got a shitload of off-throttle throw. So yeah, there should be some content coming from this rig, and yeah, it looks a little bit more like the Razorback from the show now. We got the white wires going from the ESC to the flight controller. I'm sorry, from the ESC to the race wires, and then the race wires are white, and then I've got a little bit of white electric tape on the ends of the arms, and then of course the white motors, and then everything else is red. So yeah, the Razorback lives, yo! Very exciting. I like having this rig put together. I don't really fly it much, but when I do fly it, it's a very different experience, being like heavy and ultra powerful, and you know, big pitch and 40-degree camera angle. And it's on DJI now, so it's I can actually see where I'm going. I think this rig is a great example of the proper use of the DJI system. Being able to see farther ahead is really important on a rig that can travel the kind of speeds that this thing can travel. So yeah, can't wait to get this out into a big spot and fling it around a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Okay, let me put this back up here. So let's get caught up on chat, and then we'll start doing Cinewhoop things. I'm really interested. Oh yeah, so tonight we're gonna do a. Did I already say this? Whatever. It's in the title of the live stream. We're gonna put. We're going to put the HGLRC Aeolus 0802 25,000 kV motors onto this and see if that brings it to life a little bit. I flew one of these at Micro Mayhem and I was not impressed at all. The worst thing about this is the camera, but I took a look and it's not a proprietary kind of camera and VTX setup on here, but it's annoying, and I don't have a great way to, I don't know, we'll see how it is here, and if the camera and VTX are still really terrible here, what I'll do is I'll pull this canopy camera VTX setup, and I'll figure something else out. I guess just like an Eachine Nano, I don't know. I don't know of a good camera and canopy setup for, a Cinewhoop that doesn't have a VTX on the AIO. The VTX being on the AIO is really, I think, the right setup. And this doesn't have that. So, yeah, I don't know. And you can't just swap the AIO on this because the frame is different in order to squeeze the bigger propellers on. So this is a build that, like, you have to run an external VTX. The biggest problem with running an external VTX is that it's heavy. It's a heavier setup, and that makes a really big difference with Cinewhoops. I've also heard that this frame is not all that durable. The other one of these that we had in Micro Mayhem, the frame broke pretty damn quick. So maybe we won't even get to that point. Maybe the frame breaks so easily that it's like, you know what, screw this thing, it ends up in a giveaway, or if somebody wants to buy it for spares, they can. But I do at least want to give it a shot, because these slightly bigger, I think these are 1.4-inch propellers. You know, it's interesting. It's interesting that these propellers are a little bit bigger. So we'll give it a shot. And the reason why I've chosen the HGLRC motors is that they made less power than most of the other 0802 25,000s. So in theory, maybe they're KV limited, and a bigger propeller like this will help out. I don't think that's what it is. I think that these are, I think that basically whoever made these motors for HGLRC, they did not change the gauge of the wire when they went from the lower KVs up to this 25,000 kV. So I think basically the situation with these motors is that there's not enough copper on the stator. As the KV on a motor goes up, the number of winds around each stator pole goes down. The amount of copper that you have on the stator with those winds has a lot to do with how much torque, how much power that motor can produce. So ideally, every single time a motor manufacturer changes the kV, they change the wire thickness so that the amount of copper on the stator stays the same across their range. But especially with tiny little motors that they sell for very cheap, that has a tendency to go out the window, and they'll leave the same gauge of wire for their 22,000 kV and their 25,000 kV motor. So yeah, that's my guess on these. If we put it on this rig and it still doesn't make good power, that will support the guess. If I put it on this rig with these bigger tri-blade props and it does make good power, then that means that I'm wrong and they've just spec'd the kV incorrectly on these motors. So yeah, we'll do a little myth busting tonight with these little guys, which will be kind of cool. And then yeah, we're gonna do this other Mobula 6 build. CMYK's in the house. He says, "Yo, dude, what's up, homie?" Metal Dirtskin says, "Isn't that white wire addictive? I started buying FPV cycles now, and now I want white wire and everything." It is pretty cool. I'm not going to put it on any rigs that are going to be freestyle related, though, because the grass will turn that white green in no time. I'm reading the chat backwards now, so let me scroll back up real quick. Airwave Ant says, "Congratulations, sounds like you found a keeper." Yeah, for sure, man. It's our relationship is something very, very unique and very special, and I appreciate it and love it and can't wait to see where it takes us and me and the kids. And yeah, this is gonna be a good year. This is gonna be a good life, man. I refer to this as new life. I had old life for 15 years and it was okay, but new life is looking real good. Although I did get some really bad news today from South Carolina unemployment. I'm gonna fight it again. I fought it once already. It looks like they didn't. It looks like I don't know. They paid me too much for unemployment, and now I have to pay like $5 grand back, and that's like bad. So I don't know. It really pisses me off that like because their system didn't stop paying me out. I don't know. I'm sure it was my fault in some way, but if you've ever collected unemployment, like it's very confusing. Like the way that they communicate with you is terrible, and like the online portals are usually really bad, and like I don't know. On one hand, like I got an interest-free loan from the government in a time where I needed it, so you know, I'm not gonna say like, fuck the government, fucking assholes. Like, I would have not been able to, you know, the government, unemployment and many other things are wonderful programs that the government has that we really take for granted, and we really shouldn't, because much of the rest of the world does not have programs like this. So yeah, but I don't know. It just kind of sucks. Luckily, I have booked a bunch of gigs, and lately, not as many as I would like, but I've been doing a pretty good job kind of saving up some money. I was saving it up for the move and for, you know, some stuff that we want for the house, but we'll make it work. We'll figure something out. I'll, you know, right now, Maggie and I are both paying fairly high rent. The mortgage on this house is only a little bit more than what each of us were paying individually. So it's not doom and gloom at all, but it was just, it's an unexpected thing that, and it's a ton of money. You know, it's like a lot of money. But yeah, the correct way of thinking about it is that I got a interest-free loan from the government that they let me hang on to for like a year and a half, and now they want it back, and I can't blame them. So is what it is. That's life sometimes. Jellin says everything happens for a reason. You cross paths is the perfect time for one another. Yeah, very much so. Very, very, very much so. Bob Noxious says congrats. Hope you have something special planned for the anniversary. we've been pretty like head down and stuff. I think at the anniversary, I mean, the house and everything else is like right on top of it. So I think that the big plans for the anniversary are going to be hanging out in the house together and and cleaning shit up and painting and doing all kinds of stuff like that. But I do have a cool place in mind that I would love to go out to dinner. So yeah, we'll do something fun. But our lives are going to be dominated for the next couple of months here with new house stuff. It's great. It's completely livable. There's like nothing that needs to get done like right now, other than maybe like there's a tree that's kind of leaning towards the house, but it doesn't look like it's gonna fall over tomorrow. I don't think there's anything that absolutely has to get done right now, or else it's gonna catch on fire. There are some things that we want to do really badly, but if we have to push them off, it's not the end of the world. So, shirt of the day from Rampage this year. Betternerdskin says the FPV cycle 13mm 6350 kV should be okay on 2S, or run those on mine 3S with a throttle cut. I'm looking for something other than those. I have those 13mm motors in. I already have those in for 2mm motor shaft. I want something with a 1.5mm motor shaft. I want a good 2S 1204. I think 1204 is the right size. For that sort of payload. Should be okay on 2S. I run those on mine 3S with a throttle cut. Metal also says, but with a naked Vista, you could even go 1404 with that much weight. I haven't built one light like that though. 1404 is, in my opinion, going to be way too much. I'm using 1404s on a 240 gram rig. One of the Ripsqueaks with 4S 850 and shit like that. So, yeah, I'm trying to stay light for durability. So I'm thinking 1204s is the right deal. After these tiny whoops, I am actually going to be building my Vista toothpick, which has RC and Power 1204s. I've heard that they're great, but they're a little bit of an older motor. I have a feeling there's a newer 1204 that might be better than those RC and Powers, or maybe not. I don't know. I'm hoping to find somebody that has a Vista rig that's tried a couple of different motors. So if that's you, message me if you don't mind. CiottiFPV.com has all my contact info, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. If you've got a Vista toothpick on 2S and you've tried more than one motor, hit me up and let me know what you've thought about the different motors that you've tried. That's really what I'm looking for. Yarb says, got my dream car for idiots Monday. Traded the Tacoma in for a 2018 STI. Nice, Yarbs. Yarbs will be shopping on Amazon for flat brims and box mods tonight. So, Flyzone Jones says, what's up, homie? No offense, Yarbs. I had to. I can't. There can't be a discussion with an STI surrounding STIs and WRXs without flat brims and vape life with a Y. Metaritsun says, "Isn't that white?" Oh, we got that. CMYK says, "Yo." Odd says, "Always followed you. Time delayed Europe. Building my 3-inch after getting some tips from you. Very cool. Had to slow down because I quit my job and went freelance product designer. You inspired me. Wow, very cool, Odd. Very cool, man. It's every once in a while somebody will say that I inspired them to do something, and I haven't quite figured out how like that's a lot. That's a lot for me to like take. Like my initial reaction is just like, oh no, man, you did that. Like I'm just here, I'm just doing my thing, right? But like yeah, in life, sometimes there are people that like legitimately one-to-one like inspire you to do, like you see someone doing something and you're like, you know what, fuck it, I can do hard things too, I can do scary things. So yeah, like it's kind of I think it's like overwhelming when people say that to me, right? It's just like it's yeah, I don't know how to like fully wrap my head around that. But yeah, I appreciate it. It's super cool when you guys actually take the time to like let me know that kind of stuff. That's super cool. But yeah, fair warning. If like my reaction to you guys telling me that I've inspired you was a little weird, that's just what it is. You know, it's just like, and it's true, man. Like you guys did it, right? Like I'm just here doing my thing. Like you did that, right? Like sure, maybe I did 0.01% of it in like making you hopefully realize that that it's possible to go out on your own or whatever. But the other 99.9999% is you putting the work in, right? And so yeah, I don't ever want to be like, oh yeah, of course I inspired you. You know, like that ain't me. But yeah, that's cool, man. That's super cool. Thank you for saying that, and more so than that though, thank you for having the confidence in yourself to do it, man. Like that's a big deal, and it's hard. It's hard to go out on your own. It's hard to do freelance stuff. It's scary. It's a big thing, and the fact that anybody does it is wild. And when I see people that hang out here do it, it's like extra special. I don't know. It's cool. Keep going, brother. It's gonna be hard at times, but if you're good at it and if you really love it and if it makes sense, keep going. There's gonna be times where you're gonna question. There's gonna be a lot of times where you're gonna question it and you're gonna think about quitting, and you know other opportunities are going to come along that are safer, that make you more money. For me, you know, that would put me back into an office. And don't, you know, you got to be eyes open about it. But yeah, believe in yourself and push as hard as you possibly can. But also keep in mind that one of the things that I've definitely noticed is you have to work harder. It's weird, right? Like working in an office, I had to work pretty hard not to go crazy because I hated what I was doing. But there was a lot of security in it. There was healthcare. There was good money. There was, you know, it was just a more stable kind of situation. You lose a lot of that, and that. So what you gain is the fact that you don't hate your job, and that mentally, that's great. But all this other stuff pops up, and so it's easy to be like, nah, I can neglect my mental health because I love my job now. But you really can't. You really have to work just as hard, if not harder, because the stress is coming from different stuff. So keep that in mind and don't neglect that, because I think that is the reason why a lot of people will quit, is that yeah, the stressors come from different places. They don't handle those. They don't think about those. They don't stay in therapy and talk about those things. And then they just get overwhelmed, and it's like, to hell with it. I'll just go back to what I used to do. But it's, for me at least, it's been really important to listen to my brain, listen to what works and what doesn't, and when the new challenges come up and when the new stressors pop up, deal with them rather than just being like, I can't handle it, or like, I didn't sign up for this. So yeah, it's hard, but that's what she said. It's hard, but it's good. That's what she said. Bob Noxious says, hate to hear it. I'm in a dispute with the IRS because they messed up. Now I have lawyers involved. Oof, that blows, Bob Noxious. Jesus Christ, that sounds awful. Zanakis says, Christ. Zanakis also says, Solvend FPV, check out CiottiFPV's Cinesplorer. Solvent SPV asks, if you were buying a Cinewhoop for commercial level use, what you picking up? For commercial level use, this is easy for me to say, but I think it's important for me to say this. For commercial use, you should already know what Cinewhoop to build. If your experience, because flying FPV commercially is kind of a big deal, and you, in my opinion, you should be good enough and you should have put enough time in to where it's like no big deal, because otherwise there's kind of a good chance that something's going to happen, and nobody wants to be that guy. We don't want anybody to be that guy, right? Because we already have a hard enough time with the FAA and shit like that. So for the good of the whole community, right, like, it's important to wait long enough. But also, like, it's just, when you start doing stuff for commercial, like, the risk factor goes up, and you don't want to hurt anybody. If you're flying gigs with talent, you can't hit the talent. If you're flying gigs with home tours and shit like that, you can't smash into a priceless painting and put a, you know, Cinewhoop sized hole in it, stuff like that. That's the stuff that unfortunately will hurt. It'll ruin your FPV career. It'll end your FPV career. But it also hurts the whole community, because whoever's involved in that project, it's this, like, wow, we're never putting FPV on this. I'm never using FPV again, sort of thing. So that's the first thing that I'll say. I hate to, like, you know, shit on. I'm not trying to shit on you at all. And this is not me like, oh, I'm the only one that's allowed to fly cinematic. Like, no, there's plenty of room for us all, in my opinion. But I take the safety side of this extremely seriously, because I want to do this forever. Like, I want to fly FPV forever, and the only way I'm going to be able to do that is by thinking about it a little bit more sort of holistically and saying shit like this. But it's also going to help you, because again, if you wreck on an FPV gig and somebody gets hurt or something gets damaged or broken, like, that's probably it. You're probably going to get sued. And the film world is pretty tight-knit. It's a pretty tight-knit community, and they're going to find out. And then everybody's going to find out, and that's going to sort of be it. So it's really important, in my opinion and in my experience, for whatever that's worth, to wait until you know, and you've flown enough, you've tried enough different combos. Not to mention that, and so here's the other big thing, is that there is no one-size-fits-all solution. Like, the perfect Cinewhoop is totally different for each individual person, because each individual person flies differently. They're going to be flying different gigs, requiring different speeds and different run times. They're going to be carrying different payloads. You know, for me, it's a GoPro Hero 8. For some people, it's a Hero 10, which is heavier. For some people, it's a Bones 10, which is lighter. For some people, it's fully naked, like Hero 6 or 8, which is even lighter than the Bones. So yeah, it's a very, very, very subjective thing, and that's a journey that, as a professional, you want to invest the amount of time in, because that is one of the things that's going to make you, that's going to allow you to be dialed in enough to not hurt someone on set. And again, that's a really, really, really big deal. Personally, for the work that I do, which is a lot of music videos, and short films, Cinesplore is the best of the frames that's made by FPV Cycle. I think the Cinesplore frame is arguably, sure, but it's a tough argument against it. The Cinesplore frame seems to be the best of the Cinewhoop frames. But if you're going to fly a naked Hero 6, it's probably too much. You probably don't need that much frame. So yeah, it really does depend mainly on your payload, but also on what kind of runtime you want. But Cinesplore, I think, is the best all-arounder. And then, yeah, I mean, the rest of the frame is very, very subjective. I like 2004 motors that are 3,000 to 3,500 kV, but that's because I fly 4S. I think 4S is your best bet. Some people prefer 6S. I think they're wrong. I've tried it. The data doesn't support it. My flight experience hasn't supported it. There's really no benefit to 6S on a Cinewhoop. All of the benefit on 6S with freestyle rigs comes because we pull 100 plus amps when we go full throttle 100 times per battery. With a Cinewhoop, you go full throttle 0 times per battery. So any advantage to 6S is pretty much gone with a Cinewhoop. And the problem with 6S is it's really hard on the smaller components that you want to put in a Cinewhoop, because typically it's good to keep your Cinewhoops lightweight. So yeah, it also has to do, again, with the amount of speed that you need to be able to carry. If you're needing to have a ducted rig that'll go 40, 50 miles an hour comfortably, that's not a 3-inch rig. That's like a 4-inch or a 5-inch monstrosity. And I mean, in that case, you also want to take a look at, like, do you even need prop guards, right? Because what subject really is there that's going to be able to go that fast? That, yeah. So again, there's a ton of sort of decisions that go into that. I do, on my Fiverr page linked from my website, one of the things that I offer on Fiverr is something called build planning, and this is exactly what that is. My build planning sessions are half an hour, an hour. And I spend about 15 minutes asking you all of these questions to get dialed in on that. And then once I have all that info, I can target, that allows me to kind of target in on, all right, you need this prop size, this much MAH, all the way down the rabbit hole. So there you go. Long answer to a short question. It's a good question, though. It's a really good question. Yarb says, for clarity, the STI is one of those stealth ones with no big spoiler. I actually prefer the ones with the big spoiler. I do not like the non-spoiler thing on most cars. I think the ass end of the car just looks silly without at least a little, at least some sort of a something back there. Benedictson says, how committed to 2S are you for the Vista pick? I think there are way more motor choices in the 5,000 kV range, which is about right for 3S. My not wanting to go 3S is wanting to keep the weight down. I want to keep the weight as low as possible for durability, because the toothpick frames are fairly fragile, and it's a build that's going to get put in front of a lot of people. So I really think that durability is very high on the list of attributes to these builds that go on Joshua's website, right? I wouldn't feel right putting together a build list and it's like a glass cannon build that flies great, but every time you crash it, it implodes. Obviously, that's, 3S isn't going to be that bad, but 2S is going to give you access to lighter weight batteries. So I'm pretty hell-bent on 2S. 6'7" Evan says, hey, Xenakis and CiottiFPV, what's up, brother? Did we meet at Rampage this year, or was that last year, Evan? I forget what year it was. Bob Noxious says, you're a humble person, CiottiFPV, that's why it hits you like that. Fair enough. Yeah. Odd says, exactly, it's scary, but it's for yourself. Lose some, win some, and get to know yourself deeply. It's a really good point, Odd. Yeah, I've learned a lot about myself in the last year and a half, 2 years of doing all this. There have been some other things that have forced me to learn a lot about myself, so I mainly attribute it to that. But yeah, going out on your own will certainly teach you a lot about yourself, good and bad. Expect the bad. But don't run away from the bad, right? Like, the only way to improve is to fail. So when you find out the shitty things about yourself, you can't just throw your hands up and say, well, that's just me. Like, you have to meet it head on, and you have to go, no, like, okay, this is important that I learn this thing about myself. I need to work through it. And there's not a time limit for that, like, if that takes you 6 months, that takes you 6 months. But you got to be willing to, you got to be willing to meet shit head on and just understand that you're not perfect, you're never going to be perfect, and nobody would want you to be perfect. Nobody would want to hang out with a person that doesn't make mistakes, because then you'd be like a fucking cyborg. So make mistakes, be wrong, be shitty at stuff, and just, you know, own it and work on it and get better at the things you can get better at, and just put as much positivity in the world as you can, I guess, right? Steve FPV says, having a hard time understanding Crossfire hertz. Looking for presets on 4.3. Don't care about latency. Should I lock at 50 or 150? Great question, Steve. So here's my take on it. If you're racing with Crossfire, you can lock 150 hertz on your receiver. 150 hertz on Crossfire does not have great range, so, you know, thus racing only. For freestyle, if you're careful and you don't push range like ever, you can maybe get away with locking at 150 hertz. I don't. I run it on variable because it changing from 150 to 50 doesn't really affect me, and if I can get a little bit less latency when I'm really close, great. Where it becomes a little confusing is, okay, Betaflight 4. Hey, Betaflight 4.3 stable is out, guys. Put it on your shit. This Friday or maybe Sunday, we're gonna have a live stream where we read through some of the tuning notes and some of the release notes. But yeah, Betaflight 4.3 stable is available, and I did some reading of the release notes last night, and they confirmed that yes, the PID calculations. It didn't say this in these specific words, but from what I read, I'm 99.9% sure that the calculations behind the PIDs have changed, and they are way more aggressive. So if you're used to cranking up your PI and D gains because you kind of needed to in previous versions to get a really dialed in tune, you probably don't need to do that anymore. The stock Betaflight tune in 4.3 is fucking wild. Like, no prop wash, no bounce back, no bullshit, no arm drops, it's wild. It's much more aggressive. So if you just fire up 4.3 and start cranking your PIDs up like you used to, you're gonna have hot motors, you're gonna have an angry rig because the calculations behind the scenes are more aggressive now for sure. So put 4.3 on your rigs, leave the tune alone, maybe take a little bit of filtering out, maybe not. Maybe just fly it completely stock, and I have a feeling that you're gonna like it. The QAV S Freybot that's being a pain in the ass, that Brandon, thank you for replying. I still have another couple messages from Brandon I have to look at. I'm gonna put this back onto 4. So it's on 4.2 right now. I'm gonna put it back onto 4.3, and I'm just gonna leave everything alone. I'm gonna put this up in the air completely stock 4.3 to see if, just to see what's what. I think that the gyro actually might be shitting the bed on this rig. Not totally sure, but it's starting to look like some of the symptoms of a bad gyro. So kind of annoying, but this isn't too bad to work on, so it won't be the end of the world the way that I built it. So, but I have time. This rig needs to just be done by the end of July for the crit event. And technically, if it's not done, it's fine, because I have the Cineexplorers. But Bob Knox just dropping the Fiverr link. Thank you, dude. The end of that. So in 4.3, there are presets. There are RC Link presets. If you're going to run dynamic Crossfire, 50 to 150 switching, it switches from 50. It switches from 150 to 50 pretty goddamn quick. So you could make the argument that you want to use the preset, the RC Link preset for 50, but the 150 hertz preset adds additional smoothing, and I like the way more stick smoothing feels. It makes my footage look better, so I run the RC Link preset for 150 hertz. This way, when I'm close to myself and it switches to 150 hertz, it's perfect. When I start pushing a little bit and it goes to 50 hertz, there's extra smoothing, which, you know, extra smoothing is better than not enough smoothing from an RC Link perspective. So there you go. I don't know. I often think about locking it at 50, but I just don't notice it. And a little bit of an improvement in latency when I'm really close to myself. Like, cool. It doesn't make me fly worse, so yeah, is what it is. I wish that it didn't switch so early. I wish that it would wait, because like it switches when the LQ goes from like 100 to 99. I wish it waited until the LQ like actually dropped down to like, I don't know, 70, 60, 50, whatever. But you know, TBS makes strange decisions across the board. Weird company run by a bully, but is what it is. Lord Henrik says, what symptoms could happen from a positive battery terminal rubbing up against the frame? Should I get heavy video noise? If the frame is grounded, then all kinds of shit could happen. If the frame is not grounded, though, nothing should happen. So like if you've got a Vista and you've got the Vista screwed to the frame with metal screws, then your frame is grounded. So yeah, that you could be having serious issues there. But typically with the Vista, you don't really get video noise. So you're probably on analog. And so yeah, unless you have like screws that are too long going up into the windings of your motors, your frame should not be grounded. You can test it with a multimeter to find out for sure. But yeah, I would not think that would be causing the problem. Every single time I have video issues, the first thing I do is check the antenna. Flick the head of the antenna, make sure it doesn't sound like a little baby rattle. And then for the most part, just swap the antenna out. They break so often, and a lot of times you can't see that they're broken. So that's always where I start with video noise. In your case, it's probably not going to fix anything, but it's certainly the easiest thing to try. So I would just try swapping out the antenna and see what's what. Xenakis says, I think last year, 6 of 7, at least I saw his videos last year. I thought so too. All right, cool. And hey, we're all caught up on chat. Cool, let's do some Cinewhoop things, fuckers. Moving these windows over a little bit. And what did I title the stream? Am I missing anything? BetaFPV and 30,000 kV. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna do some serious flying here tonight. But first, we need to put some work in and do some building. Okay. Those batteries are good to go. These batteries look like they might be good to go too. That's exciting. Cool, so we've got a bunch of batteries ready. Let's see if we can get this Meteor65 Pro in the air. This one I was having some issues with at Micro Mayhem, and I just could not get it working. So instead of giving it away to someone that would then have a little bit of a nightmare on their hands, I snagged it because otherwise it was just going to get trashed, because it just, I forget what was going on. I think it just refused to bind. And I was going back and forth putting different versions of the flight firmware on it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put 4.3 on it, and hopefully I won't have to go into the ELRS software. These new BT 2.0 plugs here are really hard to unplug. So I've been taking a little tiny piece of shrimp wrap and just putting it around about halfway down to give myself a little bit more grip on the connector to be able to get the damn things unplugged. Harbles FPV with a $10 super chat. He says, use this for high LQ. High link quality? You're welcome, Steve FPV. Thanks for asking such a good question, my man. Link quality? Is that what you're saying, Ken? High LQ? You got that t-shirt, right? If you haven't gotten it yet, you should get it soon. So yeah, just putting a little piece of shrimp wrap there, just to give me a little bit more grip. Javier says, I have a question for the LB97 with the 1103 8000 kV motors. I have two options: 20 by 20 ESC of 35 amp or 16 by 16 AIO 13 amp with an adapter. Any opinion? 20 by 20 for sure. Javier, 16 by 16 is like super untested and just kind of weird. Yeah, 20 by 20 for sure, and then you won't have to run the adapter. You might even be able to squeeze the HGLRC, I believe it is, sell a 20 by 20 all-in-one. I don't know if it'll fit in there, but that might be something that you can check out. Harble's got the shirt, awesome. Yeah, that's gonna be my opinion there. And you want to be on 3S with those 8000 kV motors. 4S is going to be a little bit too much. All right, cool. So we got that. BT 2.0 is already on. I think I just need to throw the motors on, and then away we shall go. I wish that, so if I like the way that this rig flies, I don't really know what I'm going to do about motors. This is, I think, because this uses the external VTX, I think this is going to be like the heaviest weight of the Cinewhoops. Oh wait, Left Step. Hey Left Step, if you want to ask me a question, I don't know if you were asking that question for the chat or for me, but the way it works here is that if you want to talk directly to me, all you got to do is in your chat comment, type CiottiFPV, no spaces. When you do that, it'll light up in orange. And that's how I know that you're talking to me. Basically, it looks like this. When you do that, it lights up in orange. So I read all the comments where people tag me. If you were asking the chat, you did it right. You didn't tag me, and chat will give you great answers. But just so you know, because I haven't seen your name before, just so you know, that's how it sort of works around here. I'm not one of these live streamers that says, don't at me. I actually want you to at me if you have a good question. And that question that you asked is a really good question, so let's talk about it. Left Step says, what designates the Meteor65 as Pro? So they put a bigger propeller on it. So 65 refers to the distance between the motors. This is still a 65. They changed the way the frame is designed. They put bigger guards on, and they made the guards cut in deeper to where the AIO is. And then what they did is they put an AIO in that's really like cut down in between. So you get a slightly bigger propeller. This is a 1.4 inch propeller, whereas all the other 65s have a 1.2 inch propeller. So you get a slightly bigger propeller, but the motor to motor distance is the same as something like this. And you can really see it when you look at it like that. You know, the ducts are very obviously bigger, but when you put them motor mount to motor mount, they're the exact same size. There's a super common misconception that a 65 millimeter Cinewhoop uses 65 millimeter props. 65 millimeter props are 2.5 inch props. Obviously, these are not running 2.5 inch props. The 65 and the 75 designation on Cinewhoops refers to the motor to motor distance. The propellers are 1.2 inches for the 65s and 1.6 inches for the 75s. And then there's this oddball Meteor65 Pro, which actually uses a 1.4 inch propeller. I'm pretty sure it's a 1.4 inch propeller. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's like right in between of the other two propeller options, which are 1.2 and 1.6. So math says 1.4 is in between. Restyle says, can you check out my question above? Hit the text cap. Hit the text cap. What the hell does that mean? Speaking of swapping antenna, I got a used TH2, I think that's Tiny Hawk 2 FS or Super Chip. Cheap. Came with a VTX antenna, with its VTX antenna clipped on the end. Can't seem to get my transmitter to stay connected, telemetry lost, recovered, lost, etc. Where's the question, Restyle? Like what's the question that you've got? My guess is going to be that your question is, what do you do about that? So if it you got to replace that antenna, and I don't really know anything about the Tiny Hawks. I don't know what their antenna setup is, but if it's a UFL antenna, you should just be able to pop that one off and pop a new one on, and you'll be good to go. If it's this like janky ass, just a piece of wire direct soldered to the VTX, I mean that sucks, because then you got to try to figure out what the correct length of the antenna should be, and then you got to try to cut it to that exact length. But it's really like, we can't really cut those antennas by eye to the appropriate length, so it's never really going to be tuned properly. So you might actually be better off just replacing the VTX entirely, mainly also because the Emax VTXs are kind of garbage. So your best bet might be just to get that VTX out of there, put a proper VTX on. You can get something for like 13 bucks, like the Eachine Nano, that is just amazing. And then you've got a regular old UFL. You can hook up, you know, any old whip antenna that you can get from anywhere that you probably have floating around already, or you can get a proper like TrueRC antenna for 20 bucks that'll work really, really, really well. So yeah, I'm assuming that was the question, although if I missed it, let me know, because I don't think there was like I didn't catch like an actual question in there. Left Step says, just throwing it out into oblivion. I don't want to slow it down. No, you're good, brother. MFR says, what's up? Raven says, read this comment. Javier says, thanks, and that HGLRC does not fit. Oh, okay, the 20x20 AIO. I had a feeling it might not. Restyle says, oh, okay, we got that. All right, so we're good. He just reposted it. MFR says, no Remy screws. What the hell does that mean? Lord Henrik says, could a ESC wire fray crossing over to another solder joint cause noise? Absolutely. I'm pretty sure this happened to me. Yeah, for sure. For sure. One motor, like one little strand of wire between one motor pad and another is going to cause all kinds of havoc. So yeah, if you got that going on, you got to fix that for sure. Abraham says, what's up? Restyle tagged me and didn't say anything else. Paul McDonald says, what's the name of that stuff to hold the UFL antenna down to the board with? Welder, and I have used Welder on the newbie drone rig, so when we're flying it tonight, the antenna won't keep popping off. Welder is beautiful stuff. Think about this as temperature resistant hot glue that takes 24 hours to cure. It's really good stuff. It peels right off like hot glue too. So yeah, Welder, you need to have Welder in your arsenal of stuff. It also repairs Cinewhoop frames really well. I just swap them out because they're really cheap. But yeah, Welder is arguably the best substance to repair a broken Cinewhoop frame while you're waiting for the new one to arrive. So lots and lots and lots of reasons to have Welder in your house. It's just really good stuff. I think it's actually considered contact cement. So you might even be able to use it for like model making. I don't know anything about model making. But yeah, it's good stuff. Welder is terrific. Anything that you would use hot glue for, you can use Welder for if you have time. And the end product with Welder is going to be better than hot glue. It sticks a little bit harder, a little bit better. Yeah, it's good stuff. 2 thumbs up from me. Whatever you do, don't use liquid electric tape. It's a bitch to peel off. That's the shit that TBS slops all over all their stuff. That is a complete nightmare every single time you buy a Crossfire Nano to get off. For shame. All right, we got motors on. Let's see what direction the motors are spinning. Well, hold on. let me open up the top of these fresh blue Gemfan propellers here to make sure that they slide all the way down on the shafts. I just do this with a fine-tipped pair of tweezers. I just put them into the top hole of the propeller and just twist it around a little bit, and it just kind of flares out the top hole of the propeller to make sure that when you put the props onto the motor shaft, you can get the prop all the way down against the can of the motor, which makes a big difference in terms of durability. If your props are sitting up on these tiny little motor shafts, you're gonna bend the shit out of your motor shaft. It's no good. Restyle says, thanks for the response. Give me enough to go off of. I'll look into it more. Thanks. You're certainly welcome. Metal Richardson says, I would love to test out some 2S motors on my VistaPic. I have other thoughts too, but I have to bounce for now. I can message you elsewhere. Thanks, Metal. Have a good night, homie. Okay, cool. So let's get this into... Well, I'm just going to put this directly onto Betaflight 4.3. So, yeah. Let's get it going. And hopefully we can get this thing running, because I've been asked by a bunch of people what I think about these bigger propellers, and I've been curious, but not curious enough to pay for anything made by BetaFPV, if I'm honest. Jesse Garcia says, is Welder better than E6000 or similar stuff? It's the exact same stuff. Welder is just the commercial name for it, because E6000 is a terrible name. 661 says, save config first. I have already flashed this thing back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, so the configuration is fucked. That was one of the problems that I was having with it, unfortunately. Yeah. I don't know if... So I don't have the new configurator on the computer, on this computer. I have it on the laptop. So let me really quickly download it. So yeah, next time you open up Betaflight, it's going to give you a little message that says, hey, your configurator is out of date. And there's a button to go to the website. It's going to take you here, and here's a shitload of the release notes. Really good stuff. I really do suggest that you read like this first big section here. And then the major new features section is really important. Yes, it's a lot. It's a lot to read, but there's a lot of really good stuff in there. And then if you really want to dig in, here's all the shit that's changed. This is a hell of a release, guys. Look at all this shit that's been changed from 4.2 to 4.3. This is fucking wild. And there's some really good shit in here. Like, there's some really, really, really good stuff in here. All of this, all of this is why Betaflight kicks the ever-living shit out of all the other flight firmwares. When you look in here, look at all these people that work on Betaflight. What, like 1, 2, 3, same, 4, no, same. I don't know. There's a lot of people. There are a lot of extremely talented, extremely smart people that contribute to the Betaflight project. Look at this. 37 other contributors. So 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 68 or 78 people are contributing to the Betaflight project. KISS is never going to be able to catch up with that. Flight 1 is gone, thank God. Butterflight has some cool stuff going on, right? Butterflight is a fork of Betaflight, so Butterflight has had the benefit of taking a version of an older version of Betaflight that has had, you know, roughly this many people working on it, and then it's had some tweaks made. So it's a little bit different, but, you know, any argument, it's just laughable at this point that, like, anybody thinks that KISS will ever be able to hold a candle to Betaflight. Like, this is just, like, this is not to say that you shouldn't fly KISS. If for some reason you like KISS better, awesome. But the people that say that KISS is better than Betaflight they just don't know anything. It's not they don't know anything. They're just wrong. That's what it is. They're just wrong. There is no universe where KISS is better than Betaflight in any way. It's different, and some people like it better, and if you like it better, there's a chance that you might fly better, and that's perfectly valid. You should try KISS, because when you try KISS, you will gain an incredible appreciation for Betaflight, and you'll really get to see how good Betaflight is by trying KISS. But yeah, this is a big part of the reason that the Betaflight project is so absolutely just next level, game-changing, hands down, no questions asked, the best flight firmware. It just has had so much more effort and time and R&D put in. It's, you know, and it's also so far ahead that nobody's ever going to be able to catch up. Especially, you know, these little companies that have like 1 or 2 people working for them, right? Like this KISS Ultra and all this whatever all the new nonsense that's coming out. They're just never going to catch up, right? Unless they grab Betaflight and fork it, right? That's really the only way to catch up, is to take these, you know, tens of thousands of hours that have been put into this project and, you know, get something out of that. So let's download 10.8.0 and see if it'll work on a 12, 13-year-old's computer, because it's pretty impressive if it does. Bobby Bag says, those the 25,000 kV Aeolus motors. They are, Bobby. I do not like them, but they are the motors that I have, and they will be way better than the motors that were on that rig. Kevin Sumner says, wait, back up. Flight 1 is dead. Can't say I'm surprised, but I haven't heard anything official. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing official, but Preston has been ripping people. I mean, Preston's been ripping people off for a lot longer than you guys have known about it. He's been ripping people off for probably 4 or 5 years, but in ways that did not get put out into the public. He's really stepped it up, though, over the last 2 years, and he's just ripping everyone off. So, yeah, Flight 1 is for sure dead. Because, yeah, I mean, he's got like 2 years of pre-orders that he's taken people's money, and he hasn't shipped anything. Yeah, Flight 1 is dead. Which is good. It's really good that it's dead, because the less people Preston continues to steal money from, the better, right? So, yeah, let's just call Flight 1 dead in hopes that less people can get screwed over by a total douchebag. Know what I'm saying? So that downloaded. Let's see if it will install and run. What the hell? Oh, wait, no. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it on here. I think it just... no, there we go. All right, cool. All right, let's see if it works. What's up, chat? 661 rightly says, this is why open source will always be the best. Yeah, it's, you know, if nothing else, Betaflight is an open source project, and, you know, we should all be supporting open source projects. They are very often the best, and it's, I mean, it's just from a, you know, human being standpoint, it's really good to support open source projects. Is it done? Are you done? You done copying? What are you doing? Let's see if it'll launch. Probably gonna need to come in here and do the thing in the place. Where are we at? You guys don't need to watch me do that. There it is. Security and privacy. Okay, it's gonna sit here and verify for a minute. Yeah, that's it. Verify. All right. Yeah. Kevin. Yeah. Preston has. I think to this day is still taking pre-orders, and still saying, you know, oh, it'll ship next month. It'll ship next month. I think you can still I think you can still give your money to a thief. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, up until very recently, Flight 1 would still take your money for products that don't exist, and there's, yeah, I don't know. Sad, man. Really, really sad. It like, I was able to see through the Flight 1 thing pretty early. Like, I was able to see that Preston was a thief. Mainly because I saw how he treated his employees back then and ripped his employees off pretty horribly. But a lot of people didn't. A lot of people drank the Flight 1 Kool-Aid. And it was really delicious Kool-Aid, man. They really did a good job creating vaporware and saying things that were really exciting, you know, like AI and shit like that, but none of it had any basis in reality. And it was, you know, a bunch of us screamed it from the rooftops and tried really hard to let as many people know that it wasn't going to go good for them. And some people listened, and that's awesome. A lot of people called us assholes, and you know, I told you, I don't care about I told you so. Like, that's not, I don't want to have told you so. I want you to listen and not get screwed over. And I tried my best. I really did. But apparently I was the asshole, according to many people. But, you know, now none of those people are flying Flight 1 anymore. Just like I said they wouldn't. Blizzard FPV with a $5 Californian super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, thanks for calling it how it is. That's why we're all here, for the unfiltered Ciotti. Always, my man. Thank you, brother. Harble's FPV with a $4.20 super chat. It's the weed number. And Harble says it's dab time. Enjoy your illegal psychotropic substances, my friend. Raven187 says it happens. Look at how the underground FPV guys scam people and vendors with the Nirvana. Yeah, it does happen every once in a while. It's sad, but FamG says the new V5 tattoo batteries have AI technology. Nice. Jesus, Riot9 says Betaflight has had 159 contributors, and the Betaflight configurator has had 436 in 7 years. My God. Where did you find that number? That's incredible. Looks like the new configurator is working fine. So here we go. Thanks again, Harbles and Blizzard, for the super chats. Much appreciated. So, all right, let's just connect. So it looks like I do have a version of 4.3 on here. Let me, before I wipe it out, let me see if it'll actually bind. I thought the problem that I was having was that it wouldn't bind. Nose down, nose up, left, right, yaw left, yaw right. Okay, so everything's cool with the accelerometer. Yeah, let's see if this will bind. Come in here to receiver. Blizzard FPV with another $2 Canadian super chat. He says you might be an a-hole, but you're our a-hole. Thanks, Blizzard. Kinetic says, how do I ensure D-Shot telemetry is on? Really good question. You need to make sure that you have a version of either BLHeli-S or Bluejay or BLHeli-32 that has D-Shot telemetry enabled. So basically 32.9 on BLHeli-32, or if you just put Bluejay on, it'll be good. And then yeah, I can't. Yeah, it won't bind. And then you also need to come into your motors tab here and click the bidirectional D-Shot button. That's how you make sure that D-Shot telemetry is turned on. All right, we got some good questions coming in. So let me take a look here. So we've got config MSP on UART1, and then we've got smart audio on soft serial. Look at that. Huh. All right, so I'm just gonna take a screenshot of this. And oh, what? the hell out of here. Dropbox, you jerks. Okay, let's see what else is going on. So soft serial is on, which is interesting. So I'm going to need to turn soft serial on again, unless it, hopefully the target that it chooses will do this for me. But yeah, I'm going to need to turn soft serial back on. Hopefully it'll also dial this in. Presets are fine. There's not going to be anything that I need to know. SPI built in with Express ELRS. Yeah. Okay. All right. There's nothing else all that interesting. Let's get this on the 4.3 stable. So here's how you install Betaflight 4.3 stable. You come in and click the update firmware button in Betaflight. You click auto detect. Why is auto detect not working? Hold up. Oh man, this stupid fucking thing. It runs the VTX off of USB. So the VTX sits in here and just boils itself to death. BetaFPV, for fuck's sake, get your shit straightened out. My God. So this looks like a pretty specific target. BetaFPV F4SX1280. And then here is the 4.3.0 stable. You want to make sure that you have full chip erase clicked on. You're going to click load firmware online, give it a second, and then flash firmware. And now you just wait. And your BetaFPV VTX sits there and just kills itself the entire time that you're plugged into Betaflight. Not good. Not intelligent Betaflight. Not Betaflight, BetaFPV. You know, it's bad enough that they that their quality control does not seem to be all that great. The fact that they then also do stupid shit like this, it's really, really, really annoying. Very, very, very annoying. But what are we gonna do? All right, so programming successful. We're good to go. We're gonna click connect, and it's gonna give us a couple warnings. There's no motor output protocol selected. Cool. The accelerometer is enabled but not calibrated. Please fix these problems before attempting to fly your craft. So let's fix the accelerometer not being calibrated. I'm just gonna like roughly hold it as flat as I can on the desk here. It's hard to do that with USB plugged in, but you should usually get it pretty close. Then you're gonna click calibrate accelerometer, give it a second, hold it nice and still, and then by the time that button is able to be clicked again, it's locked in the it's locked itself in. So now we're gonna go to motors, and we are going to select a motor protocol, which in this case, this is an F4 processor, so we're gonna go D-Shot 300. And then I'm gonna turn on bidirectional D-Shot because I'm pretty sure that I have Bluejay on this thing. Save and reboot. And so to see if I have Bluejay on it, I'm gonna plug a battery into it and see what little startup tones we get. So let's do that real quick here. And hang on. Get a couple of these batteries unplugged. Let me really quickly make sure that these batteries are even charged, because I've been using this little BetaFPV charger and it's been a little bit weird. So it's not charging them up the correct amount. It's charging them up to 4.24, 4.25, which is not quite high enough. But previously it wasn't charging some of the batteries up at all, but there was a chance that I was just not giving it enough time. Okay, so it did charge all the batteries up. Most of them were charged up to 4.25. This is the highest one that was at 4.28. That's still technically not high enough for high volt batteries. So this little BetaFPV white BT 2.0 charger is not great. It's not going to get your batteries all the way up to where you want them to be. The batteries coming off of the fractal charger back here are being properly charged up by my big boy charger to 4.35. So I'm going to actually swap these batteries out. I'm going to take these batteries off of the fractal charger and put these other ones onto it so that all of these batteries are at 4.35. So let me just knock that out real quick, because that will make a big difference. You know, if you're having the high volt batteries are not going to last very long, so charge them up, and they don't last any. The not high volt charging them doesn't make them last any longer. So you might as well high volt charge them. If you don't high volt charge them, they're going to fail just as fast, but you're not going to get all the juice out of them before they fail. So, yeah. Always charge your high volt batteries to high volt so that you can get the only benefit that there is to them having that different chemistry. So let's listen to what the little startup tone is here. Okay, so it's regular Betaflight. So we got to get this thing onto Bluejay. I'm gonna have to do that over here on the Mac Mini, which, for the record, at this point, I'm just gonna wait until I move into the house to get up on the Mac Mini. When I move into the house, this old ass tower is going to become like a little streaming computer for words go here for hi guys for video games, for console games and shit. I got like a cool little thing in mind. What the hell's going on here? Okay, we're good. And the Mac Mini is going to become my main setup. I'm gonna have to tear this whole desk all down. So when I reset this desk back up, I'm gonna set it up specifically for the Mac Mini. So that'll be pretty cool. All right, so something. Oh, okay. I don't have power to it. That would help. Now, so I am at esc-configurator.com. That is where you can put Bluejay. It works really well. It's a great little interface. Super straightforward, super easy. So there it is, and we are going to flash all ESCs. We're going to put them onto Bluejay. The ESC code is OH5. Don't change that ever. I'm going to put it onto the newest version, which is 0.16. PWM frequency, I'm going to do 48. And I'm clicking flash, and then it's just going to chomp through these and flash all the ESCs. Zanaka says, just check now, CiottiFPV Flight 1 still allows orders. WTF. Yeah, man, tell your friends. Make sure that people know not to... some people are just trash, you know? Some people are just garbage human beings. And for whatever reason, I was able to see that pretty quickly with Preston, back when I was friends with Schizo. But lots of people couldn't, and that's really unfortunate. I also pretty quickly saw that it was the shittiest of the firmwares, and I was like, fuck this, this is insane. This fly's awful. But, you know, that's just me. I'm going to move the startup up a little bit to 1220, and 1025 I'll move up to 1050 just to give it a little bit of extra jam. And then I'm going to move the beacon strength up a little bit so the beeper actually makes some amount of noise. And I'm going to turn on brake on stop, and I'm going to leave everything else alone, and I'm going to click right settings. All of the motor directions are set to normal, but that's okay because in Betaflight we can now change them and reorder the motors. So we're now good. This thing is now on Bluejay. I'm going to unplug here, and we can go back onto the old computer here. And let's get the motors spinning the right direction. Well, I might as well see if I can get the damn thing bound before I go any further. So Because that's the problem that I was having at Micro Mayhem, is that I just could not get this goddamn thing to bind. Restyle says, how about the Whoop Store V2? What the hell is that? What's a Whoop Store? Is that a storefront where they sell tiny whoops? Obviously it's not. I was making it funny. The best jokes are always the ones that you have to explain, guys. Remember that. Never forget that. What's happening? Why didn't this want to connect? Could be because it's absolutely boiling hot. Lord Henrik says, is iFlight Flight 1? Absolutely not. And he says, and is Schizo Flight 1? Absolutely not. Schizo was one of their developers, though, for a little while. And he was one of the biggest proponents and pilots on Flight 1. And he's one of the people that got fucked over the worst. Terrible design, BetaFPV. Absolutely terrible design. I mean, this bullshit right now, with it running the VTX off of the USB, wow, that's what it was. It was overheated. This is enough of a reason to not buy this Meteor65 Pro, if I'm completely honest with you guys. Maybe that's being a little dramatic, but this is something that will cook either the VTX or the AIO quicker than it already is going to cook, and they already have a hard time with quality control shit, so we do have motors though, so that's kind of cool. But what I want to check is the will it bind. So coming here to receiver, it's set to Express LRS, and there's really nothing else that you can do in here other than click the bind receiver button, and then on my transmitter I'm going to, oh, Harble says low power disarm. Of course. Of fucking course. Good call. What? Okay, I guess not. They must have some sort of internal VTX table set up. Okay. 661 says Happy Model also runs the VTX on the USB. Do they really? Jesus, what the hell? At least they put the VTX on the AIO, so you don't sacrifice the performance. But let's see. Here we go. Let's see if it binds. We need it to bind. It's important. Oh, hey, look at that. Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna get to fly this tonight. Awesome. I was pretty sure that it wouldn't bind because I tried everything at Micro Mayhem, but I had like shitty internet access and like, yeah. Ooh, awesome. All right, cool. So we bound. Well, look at that. Okay. Let's check our values. Everything below 1,000, good. Everything above 2,000, aux 1, aux 2, aux 3. Awesome. Happy days are here at last. We're gonna move the stick low threshold to 1,000, stick high threshold to 2,000. I'm now doing 3 points of deadband. RC smoothing auto factor is gonna get changed when I put the Express LRS preset on here, so that's good. All right, so, wow, okay. We're gonna get to fly this thing.
Low battery.
Let's go through the setup as quickly as possible since it's just absolutely roasting itself to death. Oh, okay, so that's why the VTX table is not working. So soft serial 1, we turned on TBS smart audio. I'm assuming that's what it had before, although I did take a screenshot. So I can just take a look. Yep, TBS smart audio, great. And so I don't need that anymore. So here we go. All right, so ports is good to go. Wait, no, it's not. The hell? Didn't it just have serial RX on UART 1? Or is it? Hold up. Open, motherfucker. What? Open, bitch, why? Okay. Why was it under config MSP on UART1? That's why it wouldn't bind. We need serial RX on UART1. Well, no, it's SPI. It's SPI. Wait, how was it set up a minute ago? Hold on. What? Is it still... It's still bound. Okay, so it's SPI. It's good to go. It doesn't need the... Yeah, right. We don't need to... Yeah, it's good. Okay, config. We've got some things. Max arming angle, 180. Board orientation is correct. RX loss, RX set. Yes. Soft serial is on. LED strip we can turn off. Permanent air mode we're going to turn off because I'm going to put it on a switch. And then we want the OSD on. Save and reboot. Let me get caught up on chat. Rob B says, would any VTX be on via USB on that board, or is it just their VTX? Sorry, forgot to at the first time. Any VTX. It's a problem with the AIO. Abraham says, speaking of garbage entrepreneurs and FPV, remember Lunchbox FPV? I do. Yeah, you rip tons of people off too. Harble says low power disarm. We're gonna get that set up in a second here. Let's actually get that going right now. Device ready? Yes, there we go. Okay, cool. So it's looking like it's good. It's not good to go. Okay, so we're gonna load from file, and I'm gonna try 2.1 VTX table 2.1, and I'm gonna go race band 800 low power disarm on. And we're going to hit save, and we're going to see if that works. Video transmitter device ready. Yes, that's a good sign. Smart Audio 2.0 unlocked. 8 channel. It's on race band 8 on until first time. Okay, cool. So in theory, this thing should cool the fuck down now. I've been doing too much DJI stuff. I forgot about the whole VTX table shit. I forgot about low power disarm. Thanks, Harbles. Raven says, "What do you think? Why do you think BetaFPV and Newbie Drone insist on using their own crappy cameras?" The Newbie Drone cam isn't all that bad. The BetaFPV cams are awful. I don't know. I don't know why they do that. 661 says, we got that. Bitterroot says, take the canopy off. Had the same problem. Needed to cool it a bit after program was fuzzy for like 20 minutes. Jesus. 661 says, ports tab setup smart audio. Restyle says, Whoopster equals Whoop battery charger. Oh, yeah. The Whoopster battery charger is awesome. I have a shitload of these Whoop battery chargers, so there's no need for me to spend any more money on them. But yeah, that Whoopster battery charger is the best one for sure. 661 says, expert mode on. Yeah, Xenakis is correct. Cricket was also a big pro Flight 1 pilot for a little bit. He was one of the first ones to realize what a douche Preston was. Bitterroot says, also use the ELRS password generator and use CLI. What? For what, Bitterroot? Ernesto says, why is your channel map tear and I have to put mine on AETR? It's just the way that your transmitter is set up. My transmitter has always been set up on tear. Some of them are set up on AETR. Whatever you have on your other rigs, use the same thing. Tuner Taxi says, if I remember one of those remotes is trash from Micro Mayhem. That could have been it too, Tuner Taxi. Those transmitters were awful. All right, cool. Let's keep going here. Looks like VTX tables are good to go. Let's get some presets going. So we're going to come in here to an RC Link preset, and we're looking for Express LRS 250 is what I have this BetaFPV module set on. So here we go. We click that, and then we've got an options list. I always like the cinematic, the cinematic presets, and then ELRS connection. Choose one. It is SPI on the flight controller. Voltage telemetry readings. Choose one. Single cell values. Not that it matters because it's 1S. Cinematic rates optional. I don't know what this is. Actual rates center equals. Oh, okay. This will just set your. Yeah, I'm gonna put my own rates in here, so I don't really need to do this. But well, actually, let me click it. I'm curious what it's gonna do to the rates. We're going to click Pick and Save and Reboot, and it's going to automatically put a whole bunch of shit in here specifically for Express ELRS 250. 100 is what I... Oh. Yeah, let's... Well... It is not cooling down. So maybe I have the wrong VTX table on here. But let's keep charging through the setup. Well, maybe not. Video transmitter... Power 100. I have... Well... Let's try this. Power 25, save. Let's see what happens. It is changing it. It is changing it here. When I change this power. So maybe on until first arm is just not working. I don't know. But it does seem like I do have the right smart audio on here. So, you know what? 25 milliwatts is totally fine. I only fly tiny whoops inside. So let's put it on 25 milliwatts. If for some reason the low power disarm is not working, I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. Where we at? Presets, we got that, so let's dive into PID tuning. I'm gonna leave this shit alone. The new, I mean, with tiny whoops though, you really do need to push the PIDs, but I'm gonna leave a lot of this alone. Jitter reduction, I've been moving up to 15. I-term relax, you want to move that down to 10. Anti-gravity, supposedly 3.5 works really well, but I'm going to kick it up to 5. It seems to work fine at 5. Dynamic dampening, I'm going to zero out the advance, and I'm going to move the gain up to 40. Motor output limit, we're going to leave it 100%. Dynamic idle, yeah, dynamic idle has changed a little bit. They say that you don't want to do the same trick that I did with spinning the motors up. They say just to pick a value. It seems like 30 is the lowest value that they want you to pick, so I'm going to try 30, and if we get desyncs, I'll move it up from 30. Usually on smaller motors, you have to put the dynamic idle value a little bit higher, but we'll try. We'll try 30, because I always like it to be as low as possible for the most hang time that you can get. So there we go with those. I am going to move the master multiplier up to 1.2 just because it's a tiny whoop. Tiny whoops always need more love here. I am going to move the stick response down to 0.5. I don't like a lot of feed forward. It's too jittery. Cool. So let's see what it did to the rate profile. So it made the center sensitivity 20, and it looks like it changed the max rate as well. That's kind of interesting. It lowered the max rate to 500. Very cool. These are my rates, though, that I typically use. So let's get those on there. Throttle expo, let's put that up to 0.2, just a little bit. I'm going to take a guess at the midpoint of 0.35, and we're going to save that. Your rates are your own, though. Don't copy off of my rates. Make your own rates up. I don't know about the filtering anymore, so I'm gonna leave the gyro filtering on now because they've done a bunch of work to the gyro low pass filtering. So I'm just gonna move it up, move these both up to 1.2. Hopefully they're good there. Gyro RPM filtering, I'm gonna leave 3 harmonics because it's a tiny whoop and they spin a ton of RPM. Dynamic notch filter is at 1. We'll try it. We'll try it at 1, but this max frequency I'm definitely gonna move up to 1,000 to make sure that the that we've got enough range in the dynamic filter to cover the higher RPM that these little tiny motors will spin up to. Receiver tab we already did, although when I put that preset on it changed some things. So I'm gonna put this to auto and this to auto, and then that just gives me this auto factor. This is a really aggressive auto factor of 250. I've been lowering that down to 100. This is also related to your stick smoothing. Looks like aux 11 is our RSSI channel, but I don't think we need to turn that on here. I think ELRS, just like Crossfire, grabs the RSSI automatically. The RSSI automatically. These switches, again, pretty sort of individual for you, but this is how I set them up. I do have horizon mode on a switch. If I lose video or something, I can flick into horizon mode, it'll level itself out, and I can land it, hopefully. Beeper on aux 3 with the switch position all the way towards me. Not going to do OSD disable. Well, yeah, I'm not going to do OSD disable. Nevin asks, is still liking Gemfan 5143s for freestyle? They're still great. I am playing around with the 4.9-inch props, the Gemfan stick bang props, because my rigs are so lightweight. Air mode, we're putting it on a switch on aux 2 in the middle and all the way toward us position. And actually, no, we'll play around with no air mode. Flip over after crash, aux 3 in the middle switch position. Launch control just for funsies, aux 2 in the middle, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna leave air mode on in both positions. That's how I set up my modes. I then come in here to adjustments and I do a little dingle dangle with the wingle wangle. I set this to OSD profile selection on aux 2. What that allows me to do is come in here to the OSD and set it up so that I have no OSD other than the battery warning in one switch position, and then full OSD in the other switch position. And I just have a chunk of text here for my OSD for the CLI that kind of accomplishes most of that. So we just come in here and paste that in. While I'm in here, I'm going to click Get PID Sum, and I'm going to crank the PID Sum all the way up as high as it'll go. And so we're going to do Set PID Sum to 1,000. That is going to take care of pitch and roll. And then here's the PID Sum on yaw. We're going to move that same thing from 400 up to 1,000. And then I'm going to type get RPM for RPM filtering stuff. And so the RPM, the default RPM filter Q factor, this is how wide the RPM factor, RPM filter is set to 500. And we're just going to narrow that down a little bit and move it to 1,000. And then we're going to save. That takes a big chunk of delay out of the RPM filtering. Fargo says, how do you like the Gemfan 4.9 versus the T-Motors? I have not flown them enough to really be able to make that distinction. They both feel exactly the same so far. What I'm most interested in is which one crashes better. Harble says the device was listed as Smart Audio 2.0, but you applied Smart Audio 2.1 tables. Are they the right power output? Maybe, maybe not. I did notice that too. I was like, okay. Maybe it just doesn't want to show 2.1 or something like that. So now we've got the OSD dropped in from the CLI. And the only thing that I want to do, so this is all OSD on OSD profile 1, and we also want it on OSD profile 2. That's going to be the farthest... What the hell? What the hell? What was that all about? Oh, it's overheating again, I'll bet. Yep, it's boiling hot. Terrible design. Really, really, really stupid design. It's also hard on the computer. It's hard on the computer's USB port to... Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it's getting really angry. To push so hard through the USB... What the fuck? Why is that? Oh man, that's weird. So I'm turning these on profile 1 and 2. That's going to be that switch position if it's all the way forward or in the middle. But then when I get down here to warnings, the warnings are going to be on OSD 1, 2, and 3. So that when I pull that 3-position switch all the way towards me, the only thing that I'm going to get in the OSD is the warning. So I'll get a warning when the battery is going dead, but I won't get that warning any other time. And then, so we're going to put a timer. I don't fly with the OSD on mainly, so that doesn't really matter. Capacity of the battery is 300. Warnings, we want to kill the RSSI DBM, which is already off. That's great. Post-flight stats. G-force maximum is always fun. Battery voltage end is really nice. Let me turn off the G-force maximum. It's just, there's better stuff to have on in there. RSSI minimum, link quality minimum, those are good ones. ESC RPM maximum is a super interesting one, and I'll just kind of leave it there. Okay, that's it. That's a full setup. Save, disconnect. Oh wait, no, shit. We need to get the motors spinning in the right direction. And so let's just go right into reorder motors. And we'll use the little wizard. Bluejay startup tones. All right, start. Click the spinning motor. That is right rear. I'm gonna have to move up the starting RPM. I can already tell it's not able to spin these motors. So I'll click save here. And come in here to motors, and we're gonna do motor direction. It's gonna spin them up harder for this. We'll use the wizard. Start and spin motors. Oh man, it can't spin any of them up. Oh wait, no, there it goes. There it goes. Okay. So motor 1 is spinning out and correct. Motor 2 is spinning in. So we're gonna click 2 and that'll reverse it. Good. Motor 2 is good to go now. Motor 3 is incorrect. We're gonna click it. That'll reverse it. Eventually. Come on. Get to spinning, bro. Yep, good to go there. And then motor 4 is spinning correctly. So we're going to click stop motors and close, and now everything should be good to go. Dynamic idle is set at 3000 RPM. See the PID tuning tab. Yeah, we'll see if the motors want to spin up once we're good to go. That should be it, though. We got the filters set, and let me throw some props on this, and then in theory it'll fly. If it flies, we'll get this second Modula 6 build rolling here, and then we can fly these guys all back to back to back to back. Was it 14 set to 14 motor poles? Good catch, whoever just caught that. Let's fix that real quick. And motors, motor poles, not 14. All the Cinewhoop motors are 12 magnet motors. Very good catch, thank you. Although, I gotta be honest, I have flown rigs with that set incorrectly, and they've been totally fine. Jesus, it's 10 fucking 20 already? How has it been 2 and a bit? Okay. That's kind of wild. Okay. Maybe we won't build this rig. Maybe we will just fly this rig and the other two 30,000 kV rigs in this crazy new double cube thing that I've built here, and then we'll wrap this one up. We'll see. We'll see how this thing flies. I do not have the monitor ready at the moment, so let me just see if the damn thing flies. So bear with me here. Well, it usually helps when you put propellers on it. You know, just in terms of producing thrust. Motor direction was set in the wizard. Harbles. Alright, so let's get these slightly bigger than any other 65mm motor-to-motor rig propellers on here. And since I opened up the top of the propeller, it does peak the, see the little silver there? It is peaking the motor shaft up and above, and that's what you want. You want your motor to be pushed all the way down. It really does make a difference in durability. June Loco says, how does launch control work? It just holds it. You've seen launch control before. It just does that. It's just for funsies. It's no big deal. 661 says, no, 2 harmonics on RPM and gyro to 2.0. Yeah, I don't know if that's the hot setup anymore with all these changes that they've made. I'm gonna overfilter for the time being until UAV Tech puts some. What the fuck? What are you doing? Really? Oh, come the fuck on. Your own frame? Really? What is it? There's like a huge... BetaFPV. Come on now. Are you for real with this right now? Are you for real? Is this some kind of a sick joke? Is this really what we have to do to get BetaFPV rigs to fly? To hand file the fucking ducts down? Is this real life? Alright, let's see if that helps. Nope. Wow! Oh wow, it really hits hard. Jeez, what? Are you kidding me? All the props are hitting the frame like pretty viciously. Really? What the hell? Like, come on now. I'm gonna have to remove a whole bunch of material from this already fragile frame. I guess the motors that they put on it from the factory are taller than these HGLRC motors. And or they never push the propellers all the way down on the shafts. This is insane. Definitely don't buy this rig, guys. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like this is just the stupidest shit ever. Like, I don't know. Maybe it flies really good. Probably not, because like we're going down to fucking biblades. I mean, maybe if they made biblades in this size, maybe, but it's starting to feel like the 0702 with biblades thing is really the way to go. This is ridiculous. Is this one hitting too? Where's this one hitting? Wow. Wow! Ya da 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 da! Yap yap! Come on. Wow, listen to it. Wow, and why is it... Oh, for fuck's sake. What is it doing? What the fuck, man? Okay. Come on, man. Are you... Is it... What? Really? Dude, what? Oh my god. Is this real life? Why is this? Why is this? Why? Why? Haven't we moved on from this? Hasn't there been enough opportunity for these manufacturers to like... Jesus Christ, really? There we go. So if you can get them to spin, like you see me doing here, if you can get them to spin in turtle mode, they'll the props will self-clearance. You just got to get them spinning, and you got to just kind of give it a second. It's still like annoying, but whatever. Why? Here's... Oh, I didn't reverse the motors in the motor tab. I'll betcha is why it's freaking out. Why is that not the default, Betaflight? Come on, everybody flies props out. Get your shit together. Oops. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now we should be good. Unfortunately, it won't fly very good, but, you know, we'll give it a try. All right, here we go. Here we go. I know, it's wild to see, Wild FPV says their quality control wasn't so bad a few years ago. Happy Model were the bad ones. I mean, Happy Model is still, like, their quality control still does suck. But, yeah, it's funny that, like, BetaFPV has a worse track record for quality control than Happy Model. It's kind of crazy, but I mean, neither one of them are. They're like the, you know, that's like yeah. It's comparing the worst to the worst. The left rear motor refuses to spin up. What the hell? What the fuck? Oh, there's a huge chunk coming out of the plastic. What is happening here? What is the deal? Yo, is this for real? Is this real life? Why is it all of a sudden... In turtle mode, it was totally fine. There we go. Okay. Alright, so we just need to give it a little bit of time here to wear the props in. I think it just went into Tasmanian Devil mode. Let's try it. All right, it sounds like ass, but it's gonna rub the props in. All right, let me really quickly fly this before I break the monitor out, just to see what it's like. Oh wow, the camera is absolutely worthless. I can't even explain to you guys how useless this camera is. I can't see shit. Tune's alright. It flies like a Cinewhoop from like 2 or 3 years ago. Not bad, but it's nothing like what we have now. The camera also... So the camera absolutely hates low light, so that's the problem. That's the main problem I'm having with this camera. is that from like a low light standpoint, it's absolutely awful. So let me turn the lights up in here. It just flies like shit, to be completely honest though. It doesn't fly like shit. It doesn't fly like shit. That's not nice, or correct. But it doesn't fly good. It just flies. These HGLRC 25,000 kV 0802s are okay. What the hell does overcap mean? I'm getting a warning that says overcap. My guess would be that means overcapacity, as in the battery is overcharged. But it's not. It's at 3.5 volts. What the hell is overcap? The camera, everything looks very tall in the camera, which is like pretty kind of disorienting. Like it almost feels like it's a 16:9 camera that's being squashed down to 4:3. Really weird. The camera is still absolutely awful. I just went behind the I went into the kitchen behind the counter, and the rapid fire lost sync, which should absolutely never ever happen on 25 milliwatts. So as usual, the BetaFPV VTX in this is just horrid. I'll move the power up to 100 milliwatts, which will either make it better or it'll just be the same. Let's see. Let me drop back down. Yeah, it's exactly the same. So yeah, as usual, their VTXs, like they always run at like 1 milliwatt or something weird. Their VTXs are just useless. So yeah, there you go. The props don't fit in the frame. Doesn't fly all that good. Camera is awful. I kind of want to show you how awful the camera is, though. So I'm gonna get the monitor out. We're not gonna build this other Modulus 6 tonight. We're just going to fly this, and then we'll fly the 2 existing 30,000 kV rigs, and then we'll wrap it up. That's what I put in the description of this live stream anyway, so it's kind of fine. Hopefully this battery in the monitor has got some charge left in it. I haven't charged it or used it in a while. Veritas Weasel says, overcap may mean that the drone thinks it's heavier than it is because of the draw on the motors due to the friction in the shroud, where it would limit range, believing that it had a payload. I've never heard of anything like that being built into Betaflight. That would be pretty cool if that was built into Betaflight. I don't know how it would know any of those things, but it could be. That would be neat. That would be super neat if that was built in. But I've never heard of anything like that. And like I said, I don't know how Betaflight would have any of that info. I don't know how it would have any knowledge of what the payload is or anything like that. So I doubt that's what it is, but you never know. Could totally be that. That would be super cool. All right, I'm gonna go a little bit out of focus so that you don't see the glip glop and the jib jab. Know what I mean? Okay. Another battery. Check out how bad this camera is, friends, and how bad this VTX is. It doesn't fly terrible. It doesn't fly good. But, yeah. It's not awful. With a lower kV motor, it would be pretty bad. These motors are definitely its saving grace. So if you're going to try to live with one of these builds, I would definitely say switch over to an 0802 25,000 kV motor. So I now have no voltage readout because BetaFPV. So let's unplug. Oh, I didn't set the channel on the fucking A. All right.
RSSI critical telemetry recovered.
Hey. Yeah, it looks like flying one battery was just too much for the BetaFPV, and the voltage sensing has shit the bed. So that's pretty fucking awful. The shit show continues. So look, ready? So I mean, it already looks like hell, but then when I go back here, it's almost unflyable. Wow, yeah, it's like unflyable. Every BetaFPV rig that I've ever tried, the VTX is this bad. It's really kind of unreal that they make products that are this awful. We'll turn the power all the way up to 400. That should help, right? Nope, no change. Other than, actually, it might be worse now because it's like just dumping power in. Yeah, see, it's no better down here. Wow, man, I can't see anything. So here you have it. Here's my review of the Meteor65. It's the worst tiny whoop ever, it seems. I don't really. I'll move it back down to 25. Maybe that'll cool it off a little bit. Hey, I got voltage sensing back. That's the strangest thing ever. Yeah, I mean, rapid fire is just freaking the fuck out. Working really hard to try to get any kind of video signal. This is awful. This is absolutely. I can't fly like this. I can't see where I'm going. Man. I mean, it does have a little bit of power. You can see there. The poor people that buy this for their first rig. Yeah, this would. I would not. I would quit FPV if I paid money for this. I guess you could remove their VTX and put your own in there, but you're gonna have to deal with how to mount it. Fuck. Yeah, this is unbelievably bad. Fuck. It also sounds horrible. Like all this rattling from the props hitting the frame and shit. Woo! Wow, I can't believe I can do anything with this. I don't know if you guys probably can't see any of this though, because I'm on the best video receiver in the game with rapid fire. You guys are on a unknown little whatever monitor. But let me just try to kill the rest of this battery, and then I'm never gonna fly this thing ever again. Man, it's really hard to make any corrections because I can't see anything. Runtime seems okay, but and the tune is pretty good. Just moving that master slider up a little bit. has the tune kind of okay. Wow, man, it really falls out of the air, though. Like, it has no fucking hang time, probably because it's heavy. Oh, fuck, I can usually not get out of this. Hey, we got out of it this time. It feels heavy. It's just kind of sliding around, like it's just sliding into stuff. 3 minutes and 30 seconds, though, so, I mean, if you want runtime, but you don't care about seeing where you're going or having something that has good flight characteristics. No, I'm just kidding. Don't buy this. There's absolutely no. There's no case where this is good. Like I can usually find one or two things about a rig that actually work, but this is just awful. Yeah. See, so this pineapple here, it does not look like that. Like, this camera is severely warping everything vertically. And that's kind of making it hard to fly, too. No, this is awful. This is a terrible, terrible, terrible quad, and nobody should buy. I'm sorry if you have this, but this is the worst example of a Cinewhoop I've ever... That's not true. In recent history, this is the worst example of a Cinewhoop I've ever experienced. So yeah, definitely don't buy a Meteor65 Pro. This is embarrassing. Jesus Christ. Let's fly a Cinewhoop that actually performs well. What do you say? We're gonna go from that to the less performance oriented of these two. This one is hands down the best, but we'll take it. Well, no, let's go all the way. We'll go all the way from like kind of the worst Cinewhoop maybe ever to possibly the best. Again, it's not the worst ever, but it's fun to say that. So, wow, BetaFPV, what the fuck are you doing? What the hell are you thinking? That is just horrible. You guys are in for a treat now. Look at that. Look, you can see where you're going. Isn't that a fucking wild concept? Somebody tell BetaFPV that there are cameras that you can see where you're going. Jesus Christ. Xenakis, I would love a Mobula 6 HD0 Whoop Light Nano. I really would. That is a really interesting rig to me, especially now that we've got these crazy KV motors to make up for the extra weight of the HD0. So this rig, as flown just now, 22.9 grams. The newbie drone heavyweight rig is 23.5. So it's not super heavy. You just can't see where you're going, and it randomly doesn't show you voltage for some strange reason, and the VTX is absolutely worthless. So yeah, pretty bad. Pretty fucking bad. But luckily, we've got something really good here. Whoa! Hey, I need to do something. So that right there, that was an uncommanded jib jab. That was crash prevention kicking on. I need to. So crash prevention is a little overactive on this rig right now. And I'm going to fix it real quick. So I'm going to come in here, go into the CLI, and type in get crash. Joshua just put a video about this out about this week. Come on. There we go. Get crash will show us all of the crash recovery stuff. Crash Flip Expo. Crash D. So I'm just basically going to move a bunch of these up. So D threshold is 50. I'm going to move that up to, let's say, let's go with 100, because I do have a lot of D gain in here. Well, no. Let's move that up to 80. Joshua explains what all these mean in his video. I need to watch it again. Crash G threshold of 400. We're going to move that up a little bit. Set G threshold from 400 to... let's do 600. Crash set point threshold is at 250. We're going to move that up as well. I don't know what's causing that freak out. So I'm just taking a couple of stabs in the dark here. But should be fine. Oh, fuck. Set. Let's go to 500. Okay, cool. And crash time 500. That seems fine. Crash delay, crash recovery angle, crash recovery rate. Okay, we're good. That should have... one of those should have taken care of the issue that I was having with crash recovery triggering when I don't want it to.
Telemetry lost.
So let's see if it did. So it would only happen when I would go really hard on roll and yaw. And what's interesting is roll and you can actually get more than your max rotational rate that you have set by pushing a bunch of roll and yaw in, and I think that's basically what was happening there. But that's a discussion for another day. Whoa, boy. So this is 2 of the tinywhoop.com cube gates. They have these strings all over them, so you can just tie them together. And I fucking love it. And I'll show you why. Because it lets me crash a lot. I love this little double gate setup so much. Oh my god, easy. It's difficult, but oh fuck, it's stuck for sure. Stuck. Where'd you crash, you little bastard? Here it is. Yeah, it's I'm gonna have to put quite a few batteries in to get this figured out, but good lord, this is wild. Oh yeah, come on. You can't tell me that's not super fun. So there was crash prevention saving me, and ooh, so did you see that little judder? It's still being a little overactive, so I still need to tweak it in a little bit more. But it's much better. There it goes again. There it is again. Now I'm thinking about just turning it off. So I think it's happening related to D gain. I think when I throw it up, I think the D gain is going really high to keep it stable, and I think that might be what's triggering the crash prevention to turn on. Oops. I could probably turn it off. It's been bothering me a little bit lately because I want to do like wall taps and shit, and I just heard one of the propellers throw from it. Where did that... I heard it bounce like kind of over back behind me on my right. Where'd you go, you little propeller, you fuck? You little shitter. There it is. Yeah, the propeller throwing is a little bit annoying, but there is a fix for it. You put a little bit of super glue on the head of a pin, and you rub it around the inside of the prop, and then you let it dry, and it gives the inside of the propeller a rough surface to bite against the shaft of the motor. Oh boy. This is the one, guys. This is it. The weight that this thing is at is a really big deal, and it really allows you to do this like crazy shit, like just going in these tiny little spaces and not having that extra momentum. This is it, man. 0802 30,000s. Look at that. Come on. Get. No. You know what I've been wanting to try? So there was crash prevention keeping me upright. I've been wanting to try a big power loop. Ready? I wonder if I can power loop it all the way back into that thing. Oh, I didn't realize I was going to be okay. The possibilities with this thing are just endless. No, no, no. Oh, so that's what I was thinking. Oh, boy. Yeah, this little double cube thing is the fucking jam, yo. Really like it. I really like it. Really, really, really like it. Zanaka says, nice man, added you to the pre-order list, no charge, man. Dude, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very cool. He says, I'm curious what your motor and prop choice would be. Yeah, I will make that very worth your while and figure out the best motor and prop combo. Probably it's going to be the 0802, the full can, durable 0802 30,000s. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the... and that rig might be the perfect setup for these 0802s. You know, right now they're on this newbie drone build that's kind of heavy. It's not a lightweight build. Let's do one more battery here on this, and then we'll switch over. Can you guys see all right? Is it bright enough for you? I don't really have a way of making it any brighter. Oh no! The chair got me. Where am I? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh, get down in there. Oh no. Yes! Got it out. No, no, it threw a propeller. No, no, no. I can see the propeller on the ground. God damn it. This is it though, man. This shit. I mean, we'll fly the newbie drone after this battery, but I've put in enough between the two of these where I'm like 99% sure. Left step, right? Isn't the fucking video that comes out of this thing amazing? It's like, I mean, anything is amazing compared to that BetaFPV rig. So we're kind of looking at two unbelievable extremes. But I mean, even so, like, this looks great compared to the newbie drone rig. This looks great as well. Oh my God! Why did I do that? I think I went through that. I know that I went through it that time because I watched it as I mattied the balls out of it. Whoa! I think I just lost the prop again. Oh, what? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's disorienting. Yes! Oh, no. I guess it didn't throw a prop. Never give up! Oh! Those big throws are like super reckless, but really fun. Oh, so there was crash prevention getting a little upset. I might actually just completely turn it off at this point. I got like confused. I was like, oh, I hit it. Ah! Oh, that would have been sick if I could have pulled that off. Oh, I got through it. Oh, I got through that one too. Why do we fly anything other than just tiny whoops? Oh, that stall! Are you kidding me? Yeah, this is it, man. This is it. Modulus 6 ELRS with these 0702 30,000s, biblades, job done. TrueRC singularity antenna. If you have an extra $20, this is next level. No tiny whoop can do this. From like a confidence of being able to do this kind of wild like inverted, you know, three-dimensional almost throw stuff. Yeah, this is it, man. This is it, and it's durable. The other thing I really like about the Modulus 6 is that it's durable. This canopy is not the lightest, but it's super durable, and it's one of the lightest. Like, it's lighter than the Newbie drone setup. Oh boy. Oh yeah! God, I love it. Get you some. Ah, that big laid out dive on that one. Oh, I just did it wrong. That was piloting error. I mean, it's all piloting error, but ah, rejected twice. Oh no! No. Uh-oh. No. Come on. Yeah. Oh God, come on. Ah! Battery going dead? Now we're good. Oh yeah, that battery's shot. Oh! Yeah. This is just bananas. I don't really know what we did to deserve this kind of performance out of a tiny whoop, but I ain't gonna complain. I'm just gonna take advantage of it and rip the shit out of these fucking tiny whoops until they explode. Battery number 2. No, these are all pretty good. The other cool thing about the fractal board is that you get to actually look at your internal resistances on your tiny whoop batteries, which is really important because they start to shit the bed pretty early. So I don't know if that other board has that. All right, so now let's go up with the Newbie drone Cockroach Acrobee builds. It uses this canopy gets used more often for toothpicks, but what I like about this canopy is it gives me some different camera options that we're going to play with maybe next week. This is a Newbie drone V1. I've got a little EP1 ELRS on there. These are the tinywhoop.com full-size 0802s, the durable ones, 30,000 kV. And then these are the HQ triblades, which are apparently a little bit less pitchy than the Gemfan triblades. 30,000 kV is an awful lot of kV. I had this rig at Maggie's on the biblades, and it felt pretty much exactly the same as it does here on these HQs. But let's do that test one more time here, right now, actually. I'm going to get those biblades ready. We'll fly a battery on this as it sits, and then we'll swap the biblades on, and I'll see if I can tell any difference here in a much smaller spot. At Maggie's house, I think it might be a little bit harder to tell the difference between some stuff because there's so much space. Here, it's a lot harder to fly here, so in theory I might be able to tell the difference a little bit better. So this is now the Newbie drone camera, and as you can see, it's not as good. The hover point is much lower on this, and the rates are also a little bit different. The Newbie drone has a specific hex, a custom hex, because they use a custom OSD chip. And there's something weird with their actual rates and their hex that just don't. Yeah, they're just not quite right. I'm really looking forward to the new Newbie Drone hex with 4.3 stable because hopefully they'll fix that problem. But yeah, we're going. This is not. I'm sorry. This is not the Newbie Drone camera. This is some random camera that I found. But yeah, we're gonna put a Caddx Ant on this rig, so it's gonna have the best camera, which is good because it's certainly not the best flying rig. Oh my God! Come on now. Oh, come on now. Come on! Let me out. Don't make me take the walk of shame again. Yeah. Go over. Oh, come on, you fuck. Come on, you. There we go. I'm just trying to throw it out of there. There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, these Man, Horizon, what the hell is happening? Why do these rates feel like this? Jesus Christ. They're. Did it switch? What is What is going on? What did it switch rate profiles? What the fuck? Why did that happen? Why did it what? It switched. Okay, I don't understand that at all. It switched rate profiles on me. So this is on the 0802 30,000s. Tons of power. Why would I do that? Oh my God, come on now. Get me out. Come on, please. There we go, okay. Switch the fucking rates again. Are you kidding me? No, it didn't. I just can't fly for shit. The rates feel so different. Yeah, they need to figure out what the hell's going on with their rates. But yeah, this rig flies good. These motors make some serious power, but the rotating assembly with the triblades is a lot heavier. The runtime also kind of sucks on this rig. Look at this, 2 minutes and 14, 2 minutes 15. This rig doesn't fly very good. It flies 1,000 times better than the BetaFPV rig, but it doesn't fly great. I do want to have a Newbie Drone rig, so I'm gonna keep this together. But I really need them to figure out this shit with the rates, because I can't adjust to a separate set of rates. This is silly. And it doesn't make as much power as those 0702s. This is, I hate to say it, but this rig is like kind of disappointing. I want it to be better, but it's just not. Let's get it off of these HQ propellers, though. Let's get it onto Gemfan propellers. That's going to help a lot with the efficiency. And I wonder if I can swap the camera over quickly. No, because it's soldered down. Yeah, we'll play around with a different camera on this rig maybe next week. Because there are certainly better camera options than this. This is just one of the ones that I had sitting around. I wanted to try this camera to see if it's any good, and I've confirmed that it is, in fact, no good. All right, so get this last propeller off, and then I'm going to throw the biblades on here, and we'll give it another quick rip. The big problem with this rig is the weight. It's just quite a bit heavier than that Mobula 6, and that's down to the Cockroach frame being heavier, and this canopy and camera setup being heavier, and it doesn't have ELRS on board, right? ELRS is a separate half a gram, 3/4 of a gram piece on the on the top. High right, high left, high right, and high left. Okay, so let's get some biblades on here. We'll see how they feel compared to those HQ tries. And then I think that'll be pretty much it. Maybe we'll do one more battery with the Modulus 6, and yeah, we'll wrap it up for the day. I'm tempted to take these motors off of here and put them on a put them onto the other Modulus 6 that I'm building, so that we can have a 30,000 kV smackdown test. 0702 versus 0802 on identical rigs. Is that what you guys want to see? Or what? I do have another set of these 0702 30,000s coming from Cinewhoop, and they will eventually be the motors of choice on a second one of these. Oh, look, so I broke one of these. I broke this Cockroach canopy a little bit, or Cockroach frame here a little bit on the rear. So I can make this fly a little bit better by getting it off the Cockroach frame, but I mean the point is that this is kind of an all, other than the receiver and the motors, this is sort of an all newbie drone build. But yeah, I mean the Cockroach frame is great, and it's got a lifetime warranty on it now, which is super awesome. And it does allow you to push the filters and the PIDs farther and harder. But the weight is a problem. It is not quite light enough. Man, these motors are a lot on a freshly charged battery. Good Lord. Something weird going on at the end of backflips with this AIO. It like at the end of the backflip, it doesn't stop when I tell it to. See that? See how it incorporated that roll in there? I did not do that. I'm just doing a backflip. And when I do a backflip, it like, look at that. It's almost like horizon mode is on, but it's not. See that? I wonder if that's crash recovery triggering. It could be crash recovery. Yeah, I think that might be crash recovery. Oh, come on now. Really? I think that might be crash recovery turning on. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm a cracker. I'm in this weird, like, dark pantry room. They can still do things. It feels big. It feels heavy. In a small space like this, this is not the rig. The Modulus 6 with the 0702s is way better in a smaller space like this. Let's try to do some of this little small enclosed stuff with it. So it's harder to modulate the throttle, which is why I keep bumping into the ground. Main thing that kills me about this rig, though, is that the rates are all fucking weird. That really, yeah. But Newbie Journal, in theory, get that sorted out. Oh God, I just ran right into it like I was doing it on purpose. The middle of the stick is just way too lively. I've been trying to change these rates. Like I have a bunch more expo. Like usually I run 0.7 expo. So I've been trying to adjust my rates for this broken rate calculator built into this hex. But I've just never been able to get it quite right. It always feels wrong. Yeah, see now this is too much expo. This is way too much expo. It feels like it's... Yeah, no, they need to fix this. 0.8 seems to be the best. Let's try 0.82 maybe. And then I'll do less of the center. Yeah, I don't know. Nah, it's still not right. But the battery's dead. After only 2.5 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. It's, the newbie drone stuff is definitely more durable than the Happy Model stuff, and if you only have the newbie drone stuff, you'll get used to it. But I don't. I have the Happy Model stuff and the newbie drone stuff. I feel no difference between the biblades and the triblades, if I'm completely honest with you guys, which is kind of insane. It didn't seem to make the runtime any better though, which is kind of disappointing. Let me really quickly jump into the VTX and see. Yeah, it's on 5 milliwatts. I mean, Jesus Christ. On a full battery, these motors are something else. Woo! Shit! I love that. So the extra weight makes this throw into the dive really a hell of a thing. What was that? I got completely disoriented there for some strange reason. Let's try this big. I want to try this big power loop to dive thing again. Let's see. So we're going to go through. Nope. We're going to go through it. I'm going to try to power loop back into it. Nope. I'm not going to be able to get it out of here, am I? Nope, maybe. Well, look at me go. Yeah, I need to get these 0802 30,000s into the Modulus 6 so that I can give them a proper test. Because them being paired with this AIO is not fair. This is not a fair comparison. Jesus. As you can see by the amount of crashes, it's a lot harder to fly. I might have just gone through that gate. I couldn't even tell. Ha ha! Oh! I don't know if I went through it, but it was cool looking regardless. Come on. No. Fly for 3 seconds, crash. Fly for 3 seconds, crash. Fly for 3 seconds, crash. God damn, but then doing a big throw like that makes it all worth it. Whoo! Shit. Oh, God. I need to learn to not roll down the hallway. It just... Oh, yeah! Come on now with that stall. Okay, yeah. See how it slid right into the door frame there? That's the weight. Could also have a little something to do with the fact that it only has biblades on it, but I think that's mainly just the weight. Yeah, nah, I'm going to keep a newbie drone rig together for sure, but I am going to pull these motors off of it. I think I'm going to put it back onto the, oh, did that monitor die? And you guys, yeah, it did. That battery is probably blowing up now. Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna, that'll be the end of our flying for the evening. Frying for the evening. But, lightweight, man. Lightweight but durable. That's the name of the game. 1.2 amps, 714, yeah, we're good. Yep. Mob 6 ELRS 0702 30,000s. Maybe. Maybe. I'm gonna knock out this build. It's silly for me to go any farther on this live stream. Building a tiny whoop is just plugging a bunch of shit in. So, and I already showed you guys a Betaflight setup here. So I think I'm actually going to do this build right now because I just want to get it knocked out. And I've been doing really good, like at the end of the streams, just not leaving this room, just staying in this room, and just doing more building. So I'm gonna build this now. I'm gonna put it on the 0802 0802 30,000s. So we're gonna have two for Freestyle Friday. We're gonna have two identical Mobula 6s, one with 0702 30,000s, one with 0802 30,000s, so that I can properly compare the two motor choices. Pretty sure that the 0702s are going to be the jam because they make plenty of power. I don't need the extra power from the 0802 30,000s, but you know, maybe there's some weird difference that I'm not thinking about. So let's test it to be totally sure, and it'll be cool to have two damn near identical Mob 6 ELRSs at Maggie's place for all the chaos. And there's a chance that I'll also get to fly it at the new house. There's a chance that I won't even stream Friday, for the record. But I won't know that until the last second. So, thanks for hanging, friends. Screen is white, screen is right, can't see, blank screen, cannot see, blah, blah, blah. Kevin Sumner says, give me the short version of your thoughts on 1505 motors. One that you would normally recommend is Kagi. 1505s, you want the Toka 1505 is good, or if you want to build a cinematic rig, there is this TBS Pod Racer 1505, which is the smoothest motor I've ever felt. It's not going to make much power though. Toka 1505 makes mega power, great motor. It's going to work well on a 250 to 300 gram all-up weight rig. If you have any other questions, Kevin, just message me, we'll talk. Tommy Noose was the last comment of the night. He says, I got a set of the Danger Onesies 0802 30,000 kV for my 73mm baby Nazgul. Any tips? No tips. Put them on and shred. Thanks, friends. Love you. Be good. I'll see you on Friday, maybe at 7 o'clock. And then Sunday at 3 o'clock. Cool? Love you. CiottiFPV.com. Support me. I'll make more shit like this. Love you. Goodbye. Here's some flying. Maybe. No, yeah, here's some flying. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, computer, really? Not asking much, just asking you to play a video. Straightforward. Oh, it's a video of me immediately crashing. Mostar. Alright, here we go with this. You know what, I gotta start getting on the Epidemic Sounds train again. I pay for Epidemic Sound every month, it's only a couple bucks, but I love playing a little bit of their music on the outro here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Go, 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 go. Here we go. And close and recommendations. Staff picks. Oh, no, recommendations. Here we go. Hopefully this is a good one. See you guys Friday. Today's Wednesday.